Look at that, Evan. Last one of the year. Oh my god. It's episode number 184 of My Cup of Tea. Can't believe we started the podcast this year. Almost a podcast every 2 days.
I don't know. 184. That's insane. That's insane. We did so much this year. What a crazy year. And this podcast, we're gonna
We
go through and recap every single episode that we did. We're gonna recap our own recaps. That's how we
we
do
should
it.
have did a big Final Destination episode
Mm,
on 180.
on what?
180.
Oh yeah, we should have. We should have. That's for 2026. We got all the time in the world, baby. But yeah, this is a crazy, crazy last stream of 2025. Where has the year gone? But we have fun stuff to talk about. Stranger Things, Percy Jackson. I wonder how many shows we kind of like broken down this entire year. I feel like we've broken down a lot of shows this year. It's been a lot. Starting from Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man all the way down to Stranger Things. We're
Yeah.
here.
We got to watch. Oh my god, Andor was this year, wasn't it?
Andor was this year. It's my favorite show of the year.
Yeah.
Still is. Still
We watched
peak.
Ahsoka this year. That was crazy.
No, we didn't.
We
No.
no, I'm sorry, Skeleton. Uh,
Skeleton Crew was finishing up, right? Was it like
I think we got the finale at the beginning of the year.
it was like 3 to 4 episodes of Skeleton Crew. It was funny because I was looking at my TV, like how much TV shows did I watch this year, and I think I watched 40. I watched 40 anime this year. 40 anime, and
How does he do it?
44 new shows, including like reality TV and stuff like that. But I didn't include. It would be 48 if I included the shows that ran into 2025. Like what was it? I have Silo, Skeleton Crew, stuff like that. But Creature Commandos. So yeah, my goal for 2026 is to watch more than 44 shows next year, which might be possible because 2026 has a lot of interesting shows and movies and anime. It's going to be a great year next year. I'm hyped. I'm really hyped.
Hey.
But yeah, it's been a great. Just this holiday break has been wonderful. I finished Ghost of Yotei finally. That was a great game. I think even better than Ghost of Tsushima. The story isn't the most like unique thing. It's a revenge story, so it's not the most unique thing in the world, especially after I just played Assassin's Creed Shadows, which has another similar revenge story. But the gameplay was amazing. Really had a good time. Emotional ending too. So great job, Sucker Punch there. What else? I got some books done. I haven't been watching that much movies. I think the last movie I saw was Avatar: Fire and Ash like a week ago. So
yeah,
I've been missing out on movies. What?
No Anaconda yet?
No Anaconda. But you know what? Funny that you brought that up. I might, I need to get out of the house. I've been in the house for a minute here. I might need to, after New Year's, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I might just go like movie. Like I didn't see Housemates. I might just crack that open. I didn't see Anaconda, so I might just watch that. No, I lied. I saw Martin Supreme on Christmas. That was the last movie I saw. I saw Martin Supreme on Christmas.
Let the record show you are not like contractually obligated to watch every movie you just are choosing.
I'm choosing. It's the drug. I'm blaming you and other people. It's a drug of AMC A-list.
Don't blame me. I have. This has been my weakest year of A-list yet. I got 20 movies on my list. It's terrible.
Oh man, yeah, that's your year. But is this the same year you moved back from Jersey? Was this year or last year?
That was 2022.
That's 2020. Never mind. Okay, that was a long time ago. I'm trying to just play. I'm trying to give you a reasoning for why you missed out on so many movies this year.
No,
yeah.
it's chill. We move and
we move. So what do you want to talk about this year? This podcast. What's up first? We have Percy Jackson in the Olympian season 2. We have Stranger Things season 5, volume 2, and we have Doomsday teaser trailers. One that has just dropped in Thor, and one that has leaked in the X-Men, which I think is the third one, right? 1 was Cap, 2 was Thor, 3 is X-Men, and then the 4th one is coming out next week. 4th and final one next week.
The fourth one will leak next week. The official release is 2 weeks from now.
Is it? Wait, so what?
Thor leaked almost a week ago, and their official release of that trailer came out today after it played in theaters. And X-Men has leaked. It's going to play in the next week. And
so X-Men coming out this Friday?
No, it'll come out probably Tuesday of next week.
No, I mean like in theaters. You can see X-Men 1 in theaters.
Oh, yeah, I think
like
so.
This weekend.
Maybe even Wednesday.
Do they play Doomsday trailers only in front of Avatar? Or can I go see Anaconda and get a Doomsday trailer?
I don't know, but I'm going to assume Avatar because that's the main Disney release playing right now. That's new.
Okay. So I might sneak in to go see an X-Men trailer, then go back and watch Anaconda.
My question was, like, are they playing it in front of every screening of Avatar, or is it just like the IMAX or Dolby?
I haven't heard about that. Yeah, people who saw it in Dolby 3D, did they get anything? Is Avatar doing like straight IMAX, or is everything still 3D? It's ridiculous.
From what I've seen, it's all still 3D, and even Dolby has been doing 3D.
I know, because my dad and they were like, "Is there any chance we couldn't see it like besides 3D?" I'm like, unfortunately, we gotta get the glasses.
You could go to a standard showing, but you don't want to.
I don't know. Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, there's like 2 standard showings. I'm like, either IMAX or IMAX 3D or bust. Like, either way, like I was fidgeting with my glasses the most I've ever fidgeted with glasses in a 3D movie with Fire and Ash. Like every 5 minutes, I was like, I hadn't worn 3D glasses since Way of Water. So I'm like, am I an idiot? Like, why are my glasses not sticking on top of my other glasses? Like, it kept like falling over and falling up, and I was like, I tried to get it to stick to my head. It was awful.
I readjusted maybe 4 times over the span of 3.5 hours, so that's not bad. But I was just
you don't even wear glasses. Do you wear glasses to movies?
Yeah, every time I go to the movies, I wear my glasses for the best view.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was annoying. But either way, so I guess X-Men in theaters this Friday, on YouTube next Tuesday, and then next Friday is going to be, or I guess next Monday, it'll leak the 4th one, which is
I think will be like a real trailer, like an overall. Real.
People are saying, I think the overall one is after the 4th one, or maybe it's, I don't know.
A lot of rumors have shifted because we had we thought like the 3rd one was going to be Doom centric, and then it was like, no, it's X-Men.
Yeah. So the 4th one, we're hearing Wakanda stuff.
Oh, I did. Yeah, that was a rumor I heard was about Wakandans. I heard it would be the Wakandans and Fantastic Four.
Wakanda has it for. Hopefully, we get some Shang-Chi in there. He should be the main character because he's the best, Anyways, that's be my preference. Okay. So what the fuck do you want to talk about? We're already on the topic. Let's talk about Thor.
All right. Bam.
I
got a little cough today, which is terrible, but I will hold it together.
Water.
I do. It's not. Just know if I cough, it's not the sarcastic one that we have the running bit of.
Nathan has running bit of, not me. So yeah.
We got Thor today. Not officially, we got it today. Also, at this rate, I was waiting to watch these. I watched the Thor one for the first time today because I was just waiting to see them in HD.
Me too.
But we're about to wrap up the pod, and I was like, all right, well, if they're gonna keep leaking a week early, I might as well check out X-Men. And I was seeing like those Cyclops shots everywhere, but we'll talk about that in a second. Thor one, I enjoyed this quite a bit. This is wonderful. It's the idea of, as like the Russo's caption was saying, like when a god has to pray, things are serious.
I know it's interesting. They're really hyping up the like in contrast to the last one was just like, hey guys, Captain America's back, which I thought was like, it's whatever. It worked for most people though. It got people interested. It's kind of like the hook. This one is really setting the tone more of the movie more so than the last one. This one's setting like a dangerous tone, kind of like that first that first teaser trailer for Age of Ultron, where we thought it was gonna be
Yeah,
a super serious movie.
what a great teaser, man! Oh my god, the second trailer is also really good too. The slow piano
Yeah,
of it.
I love
Oh
it.
my god,
That was great days. But yeah. So this one's setting the tone. Thor's praying. We're getting Shakespearean Thor. We get the nice haircut on Thor.
they
The
just hate that.
Russos. What?
They just hate Thor with long hair.
Not necessarily. I don't mind Thor with long hair.
No, I meant the Russos.
The
They keep
Russo.
cutting his
Oh
hair.
yeah, they really do. I guess like they're like when things get tough, like just shave his head, and I bet it's easier for Chris as well.
Yeah,
But
he wears it well.
it really sets the tone for this darker film, especially in large contrast to Thor: Love and Thunder. Even the title is like Love and Thunder to Doomsday. But I think it works out here. Again, as you said, even when gods have to pray, something big is about to happen. As we keep saying, at least for me, they have to do a lot here with Doom. They just have to. This is going to be our very first meeting of Doom outside of the post-credit scene of Fantastic Four. This can be our first meeting of like Doom, which is, I think, still a problem. It's like,
Sure.
I'm not emotionally invested. I'm not invested in what the dynamics are because I don't know what they can be outside of leaks and rumors. I'm curious to see how it's going to build, but they're setting the tone right. They're making it seem very ominous, very dark, very gloomy, very like, what's about to happen here? Is this right before a big battle? Is this right before? Did somebody just die? Like, is this the first act and he's about to set off on this journey? How does Thor even, realize what's going on? Like, is Doom like, wrecking planets and then Thor gets like the call? Like, how does he get the call to arms? Basically, is going to be my big thing once the movie starts out here. Because this movie, again, it has to be running at a mile a minute. Because we have to get introduced to Doom. We have to introduce all these new characters, returning characters we haven't seen in a long time, Shang-Chi, and get everything really settled here. So I'm curious, but again, teaser alone, I thought this was great. A great teaser, and I'm happy for my man Thor, that the Russos always handle Thor well. At least in Infinity War. He's okay in Endgame.
I like the Endgame more than you with Thor's arc. But yeah, I think this is a great teaser. I think the characterization of Thor is wonderful here. But I also think this is probably the most I've seen Thor deeply affected by a villain since losing to Thanos when all the Avengers lost. Like, that was like the biggest level of loss that all of our heroes faced, and this is about the same tone that we're seeing here. Because every like Avengers film we see confronted, you think like the first two, usually it's like, oh, the big villain, he's causing problems, and most of the time the team are together like, all right, well, where do we need to go? How do we stop this? What's our next step? And like, it's usually like talked through before going to the next action.
Yeah.
But this feels like so much weight and desperation for, the safety of his own child, and wanting to not only like protect her, but like if he could walk away from this as well, to be able to raise her and give her a life and not, leave her alone like everybody that Thor has lost in his life. That's very like deeply impactful, and it gives me a greater sense of impending dread for what Doom is going to be doing in this film and what carnage he's going to bring.
Carnage. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, I didn't even mention Love in this trailer as well. For all the people that didn't see Love and Thunder, which, by the way, people act like, because they hated Love and Thunder, that Love and Thunder bombed. But like, if Love and Thunder came out this year, it would have made more than any other comic book movie this year. Like, it made a lot of money. It made like, I think like 700 million. I think maybe it got into 800 million. I forget there. But it made more than like Superman, Thunderbolts, etc. So it's a successful movie, even if people don't like it. Draven, what's up, Draven? Last part of the year. Thor out there praying to the Marvel gods, turn him back into the warrior instead of a joke.
Now, Evan,
yeah.
It may be a stretch to say we're Love and Thunder defenders, but we see when the story's working, it's working, right?
Exactly. I think I mentioned this last time. Like the movie hasn't aged the best for me, but when I saw it, I agree. Yeah, I don't think it was the worst thing Marvel has ever done. I definitely think it's like way. I'd put it's better than like Ant-Man Quantumania. That's not a lot to say, but like I don't think it's the worst thing Marvel has ever done. It's not great, but it's not bad to the bone.
It's not boring.
It's not boring. It's not boring. But yeah, it did come in that time of like where we go from Eternals to Thor: Love and Thunder. So it was up there, up and down there. And I didn't love. I'm not a person who loves Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness myself, but I know a lot of people would love that one, like my boy Nathan here. So you know,
I wrote 2 different Letterboxd reviews. One was a dissertation on the history of horror influence on it.
Exactly.
Well, that Letterboxd review, that's great. But yeah, I think like the mainly like issues mainly stemming from Love and Thunder is the over leniency on improv a lot, because they were like, oh hey, people had like a fun time when we made Thor a lot of fun in Ragnarok, let's do it again. But we'll just play it by ear, relax. And even like Taika himself was admitting like he's kind of getting burned out on doing these, which is fair. You don't have to may have this be your life and influence. You did one, like he came and he pitched the tone of Ragnarok, and that's what led to, like, he had the interest from the jump. It's just now he's like, okay, well, now I kind of want to make the other things I want to do.
People hate on Love and Thunder, and they like continue that hate with Ragnarok. But I think Ragnarok's one of Marvel's best movies. I would never forget seeing that Thursday night with the packed crowd. That was phenomenal. Very fun time.
Oh, that's Carson.
I think Ragnarok just rocks. It's like one of the most like consistently funny where the comedy just works for me in a Marvel movie, which the Marvel has like notoriously been like up and down with comedy. But either way, Love and Thunder has its problem. I think more so now, like years later, is like the visuals don't hold up, and the comedy doesn't hold up. And of course, like the character stuff. Like I wanted more from Valkyrie, especially following Ragnarok. But anyways, like I think the Love and Thunder did a solid job with the whole, introducing love. And for people who didn't see that or just new to it, this teaser alone sets up like, okay, now Thor has somebody to care for. In the other movies, he goes into Infinity War having just lost Loki. He kind of has like that post lost attitude. This is a different dynamic now. Now Love is very much alive. She's 99% of the time, or 99%, she's not going to die at all. She would probably just be in this one teaser trailer. She'll be in the cabin, and then our worry is going to be more so about Thor, not Love. But like now he has somebody to like come back home to. So it's going to be
save the realm that she lives upon, and there's something to lose.
Exactly, because again, at least we can kind of infer maybe is like maybe they're doing some kind of incursion, time runs out kind of a arc here for the Marvel universe where Doom might be one trying to collide universes, or the world, not just Earth, is at stake here. Basically, that there's like Doomsday means like the end of all things. Destroying worlds to create one where Doom is in charge, that kind of shit. So we'll have to wait and see for the bigger pieces of the narrative. But again, I think the emotional hook here is very strong with Thor, and I'm excited to see what goes on.
I heard a theory that he may be praying to Odin to receive at least like channel some of the energy of Odin's force that powers him, which is like an even like greater step up in power for a god to be fueled by.
Oh, nice! Even stronger than what he did like on the Rainbow Bridge in Ragnarok and in Infinity War. When his eyes glow blue when he goes like full power there.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, okay. So, what are your thoughts on X-Men? I have not seen this one in full. I have just
Oh,
saw the Cyclops going crazy. By the way, I gotta put it out there. It's just so funny, you
uh,
know. It's just so funny, you know. And I'm not one of those people because I'm still skeptical on the movie itself. But like, tons of people like, oh, Doomsday's gonna be shit. This movie's gonna be shit. They see a 1 minute trailer of Cyclops.
they see a 5-second
Being,
clip of Cyclops.
they see a 5 second clip of Cyclops being, spoiler alert, Cyclops, and they lose their minds. It's like, it's crazy. It's like, are we that easy? Are consumers that easy? Where,
Yes,
granted, the answer is yes, but like,
they weren't serious in the first place.
it's wild to me. There's like, okay,
It's a
yes, like Cyclops has been done dirty countless times in especially in live action. The only great Cyclops you get is in the animated shows. Every animated show Cyclops is wonderful in. Live action, he's been played around with. So it's interesting to see him like in distress, in pain, beams shining out, and people are like, "This is gonna be the best movie ever." It's like,
well, yeah, because they're seeing like, oh, he's shooting out like a super wide beam in the comic accurate suit, like 97. So it's automatically it's great. I trust they're gonna do Cyclops the best we've seen him thus far. I think he'll actually be like a team leader on the X-Men.
I don't know. I mean, yes, like it's hard, right? Like, I think the positive about putting Cyclops in a movie that's not about him is that you can make him. It's very similar to like Thor, right? Like where the Russos aren't making a Thor movie. They're not making an X-Men movie. They're putting these cool characters in a cool film, and all they have to do is make him cool. Like, you don't have to give him that fool of an arc. Like, we'll probably see him. And the hard part is, like, if he's mad about, like, let's say, I don't know why the X-Mansion's like blown up or whatever. Let's say Doom wipes out the X-Mansion, right? Like, and then that's why he's going crazy. Sucks for Cyclops. I have no connection to this X-Mansion. I haven't seen the movie in 20 plus years. So, the emotional pull isn't going to be the strongest, I think. I mean, I would love to be surprised. I would love to be like, this is the best part of the movie. But like going into it, I'm just like, I don't have that much of a connection. But this is a positive because they can just make him as cool and as like, again, as evocative as Cyclops as they can possibly be. They can make him this leader. They can make him this person who's trying to do his best following a tragic accident or something, without giving him a full like standalone arc within a movie all about the X-Men. They're just putting him into an Avengers movie, and they can make it as simple, concise, and cool as it can possibly be, as he can possibly be. So I'm looking forward to it. Again, I'm just saying it's hard to mess up Cyclops here, where again he's not the main character. You're just putting a cool Cyclops back in the suit with the comic accurate outfit. You're getting fans what they want straight up, like just visually. So the ball's in your court, Russo. It's very hard to mess up Cyclops from here. So I'm looking forward to it. But I'm just like, I'm still trepidatious about like what's going on here. Is this going to be our Cyclops or just a brand new Cyclops? I think we kind of settled on like this is a new Cyclops. Yeah. So
it's the same thing with Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine, where it's like this is a new timeline character version variant, but they have similar experiences and new ones we haven't seen.
Yeah. Which is cool. I mean, and again, I think like going off like with Deadpool and Wolverine, which I think isn't great, but just like what they do with Wolverine there is just like, hey, I'm Wolverine. They give him this short, simple backstory, and they just jump you right in, basically. And I think that's kind of like what we're going to get here for Cyclops. Short, simple, now let's kick some ass kind of thing. So yeah, what do you think of this trailer? Again, I've only seen the Cyclops part of it, so
okay,
do tell.
Okay, yeah. Also, real quick, I think it's funny when people are trying to upscale the images of Cyclops from this pirated lowly, because every like high quality version I've seen has like rendered like he clearly has ash on his cheek, but it renders as like sideburns, and I'm like, oh my god. I saw those shots thrown around. And I was like, is fucking Wolverine in the fucking trailer?
it's getting bad out there. People try to high res the Spider-Man trailer that we talked about last week. That was like on a computer screen. People try to high res like Mark Ruffalo. I'm like, that's not Mark Ruffalo, that's AI. But like, it was very funny. Anyway.
Well, I mean, just the shot of Cyclops looks great. I think he looks good in the suit, and I have no doubt James Marsden's going to look great as him. And I look forward to what his performance will be as a leader. The overall trailer has a very like the other two teasers. It's a somber tone, potential end of day feelings. It's narrated by Magneto. Ian McKellen is here, and he's dressed very like casually, like wearing like a coat, and he's in the X-Mansion with Charles, which it seems to be not very full, and I think they had a shot of the like the Xavier School sign on the ground in ash, but they were inside the house. It seemed like it was just empty. They're there talking to each other, playing a game of chess.
These guys.
Hey, if it ain't broke, if it ain't Cyclops' story, don't fix it.
You're right.
But yeah, he's I watched it once before going live, but he's effectively like going over the idea of like the horrors of reality and like what you see when you close your eyes versus once you open them, which was paralleling to Cyclops' optic beam and whatnot. It was very cool imagery, but I was surprised like seeing Magneto look a bit more like very older, probably end of time Magneto. He's not like dressed in his like comic accurate or anything. He's dressed like old man in his old coat and whatnot. And he's there with Charles. Charles is wearing very casual like black jacket with the X logo on it. And
I was surprised they were in this movie from the jump. Remember, I think more so about Magneto, less so about Professor X because he was just in what was it? Doctor Strange. So I was like, okay, they're gonna fit in as many people as they can, but like these guys are pushing 90. Like how old is Ian McKellen now?
He is in his 90s.
Didn't one of them? Yeah, Ian McKellen's 86.
Patrick Stewart's 90, right?
85, 86, 85.
Who's 90?
Harrison Ford? No, I'm kidding.
Dick Van Dyke.
Didn't one of them say that they're going to retire after this movie or something like that? Was that Stewart?
Yeah, Stewart. Yes, I think Ian McKellen's like, I'm gonna keep going.
Okay. But yeah, so like I'm not expecting them to do a lot. If they do any kind of action, I'm expecting. Professor X is lucky. All he has to do is like, boom, and then they can make him look cool. Magneto, like, you usually like hovers and does some shit.
But even to that point, he could just like cast an arm, and a lot can happen.
Exactly right. All they have to do is have like him just do this, and then it's like,
put on that helmet. You have a stunt double, digi double, what have you. We literally have the technology.
Yeah, so they're only going to be there just to exude like their presence and their voice, which, given from the trailer, seems to be working.
That's
so yeah. Until you're 90, Deadpool 2020. You're right, Draven. Is Xavier going? He could die. That's the problem, right? It's like these are new characters. I don't have that big of a connection to them besides pointing to the screen and being like, "Hey, I saw them in movies 50 years ago." So
that's enough because I have attachment to those movies.
Exactly.
And if there's similar experiences, then it works.
Feige knows
but don't do that to the Spider-Man. They need to be the exact same ones.
Yeah, Spider-Man's different. Yeah, which is funny. Yeah. But yeah, what was I going to say? So yeah, I'm curious to see what they do in this movie. There were some leaks about like potential fights that were going to go on. And I think Magneto is going to be fighting somebody that we know. But I forget who the duels were.
Okay, I've heard in multiple interviews that Shang-Chi will have scenes with the X-Men.
Yeah, thank you. It was Shang-Chi and Gambit, right? The Shang-Chi and Gambit fight. I think that was one of them.
That's a big good fight. Oh, that sounds fun.
That'd be
Put
a
the
fun
rings through
fight.
his like staff and
Which has been confirmed because like Simu Liu said he liked being on scenes with Channing, Ian, and Patrick Stewart.
yeah, they're taking set photos together.
So yeah, so they're taking set photos together. So people are like, so again, it could be a leaker trying to like attach set photos to like a potential rumor that could not be true. But we already know like some of these characters are going to have beef initially, kind of like how the Avengers had like a 5-10 second fight against the Guardians. So it's like, you know, it could be as long as short as we want it to be. But I'm curious to see how these characters interact with the X-Men, get into. But yeah, no looks at Mystique, who we know who is in this movie.
I wonder,
Gambit.
if they want to just like have some flow of storyline to jumping into this new version of the X-Men. We know in Deadpool and Wolverine, Logan had left the X Mansion, and all the X-Men got taken out by Sentinels, right? And he blames himself because he wasn't there to help. I wonder if they could do, because this is all dealing with the greater flow of time and whatnot, if Monica's arrival to this universe from the Marvels could be, showing up a little beforehand of those events, and her involvement could lead to them walking out of the event, maybe.
Wait, say it again. You said Monica coming in from the Marvels.
Yeah, because she ends up in the X-Men timeline at the end and is overseen by Beast. So maybe that could be, she appeared in that point in time before the events of the X-Mansion going under, and maybe they still lose the X-Mansion, but maybe the X-Men themselves can walk away with her involvement in the fight while Wolverine's not there. And if they end up getting pulled into the events, maybe you could have, because I also hear word that Wolverine will be in this, and if you could do it, I would love to see an interpretation where Logan is here with Cyclops, and because of how much he experienced the grief of loss of all the X-Men, you take this time on the screen, because we've had so much spotlight for Wolverine, that he's like, you lead the charge, what's your call, Scott, I'm following you, and like he, propping him up to be the leader and follow his commands like Wolverine does in other media, and seeing that play out. That would be like a nice, like little bit of development in the X-Men for this involvement.
I would love that, but is this Wolverine the Wolverine from Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yeah.
So would he know this Scott, or like, because his Scott died, right?
Yeah. My theory stems from, this could be the timeline that Logan is originally from, but because Monica went through, this could like timeline branch.
I see what you're saying. Okay. That could work out. I would love to see that. I would love to see leadership Scott. I would love to see him teaming up with Logan. So that would be the best timeline. And I'm still surprised that we got Logan, Scott, Professor X, Magneto, but no Jean Grey, like the star of the X-Men. No Jean Grey.
Or Storm.
Or Storm. Are they going to say they died already? The two lead women died? That's kind of weird.
I hope. I think. Well, okay. So I heard in recent interview, not that recent, but I heard like people asking Famke Janssen, like, "Would you want to come back?" She's like, "I don't have to." Like, she's not jonesing to come back. I'm sure they'll offer enough money to get her in.
There's no way there's no way if they asked her and she said no, though, right? So they didn't ask her. Like, there's no way they asked. She's like, "I'm good." Like, there's no way. There's no way.
I don't know. I don't know if like some X-Men will be saved for Secret Wars or whatnot. I know like Halle Berry would 1,000% do it.
Right? So they didn't ask Storm. They just flat out didn't ask Storm, which is crazy. Because
I haven't heard anything from her, and I think if anybody has, she's probably played it coy as every actor would. So I could see that, but yeah, that remains to be seen. What Sweet Dreams got here.
My guess is that Doom is going to the Avengers and he'll say he's Tony Stark and be like, "Yo, this universe is coming to invade us. Better go." I would hate that. That better not happen. I don't want any. I don't want. Oh God, no. Like I think we can still get Avengers versus X-Men because of like because they're trying to save their world. We're trying to save our world, right? And they're two different things. They're from a different world. They're incursions. So it's like, which one do we save? Can we save both? That's how you get Avengers versus X-Men. I do not want Doomsday changing it up and being like, "I'm Tony Stark." Like, stop it. Because the audience, we 99 million people in the world know that he's lying. So we just have to watch our characters be fooled for like 3/4 of the movie, 1/2 of the movie, however long it takes for them to realize, like, oh, this is not right. Like, I don't like it when that happens in anything. So, no, just come in, be bad. Come in like Thanos. Just come in. I'm the big bad. Fight me. Let's box. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want.
That said, back to the main plot. From what we've seen from the 3 teasers, Steve with his newborn, Thor looking after Love, and the X-Men famously being a school for young children, mutants. It seems like there's a big play in protecting the younger, new next generation, right? Which is again fueling my idea that I think they're going to play this out like a legacy sequel type thing. As well as, focusing it as a direct sequel to Endgame, but still having the established new heroes, both introduced here and throughout phases 4 through 6. That it tracks for me. As far as Doom's characterization, it still remains to be seen. I look forward to whatever teaser is going to spotlight it, because I think I had also heard word that like we're gonna get our first like real trailer, like official trailer one, whatever have you, at the Super Bowl. That's a rumor going around right now, which I could see that happening. You want to get a lot of eyes on it, and I think that's where we'll get our biggest tone of Doom and how he's playing everything.
Which means
I think it's very important that they need to showcase Downey's performance early on, so people are used to it. Because if they are also just hearing Downey's voice and they're still just thinking like it's Tony, then you have time to acclimate before the actual like events of the film. I'm not saying he is Tony. I'm just saying like Robert really changed so much.
Couple things here. Yeah, like the trailer coming out on Super Bowl makes sense. But what this means though is the Super Bowl is going to play a truncated version of the trailer. Then it will say go online to watch the full trailer.
Sure. Sometimes
I know people are like, "Oh, they're gonna play the full thing." I'm waiting till the commercials to play the full thing. The commercial is never going to play the full trailer. They don't have time for that.
It's usually like it might depend. Like sometimes it's it's very random. Sometimes the programmers like here's a 30-second go online, and sometimes like later in the game when things are dying down or whatnot, or we're getting towards the end of the broadcast, or like here's the trailer. Sometimes they'll play a TV spot twice. It's crazy.
So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, February makes sense to start everything up. We'll probably get a February teaser trailer in July, maybe August, February, then August, and then
probably July for Spider-Man, right?
Probably July for the Spider-Man. That could work out. And then trailer TV spots galore in November and December. But that sounds about right to me. I'm very for Doomsday. Guess what, guys? This is how it's going to go, Nathan. It's the same thing with Cyclops. Like he's going to look good. Like Marvel costuming hardly ever fails. I can't think of one costume that people are like, "Oh, this sucks." So
except here the MCUification of suits where there's too many lines.
Too many lines. I still don't. I'm not a costume guy. Too many lines doesn't bother me at all. But I guess you're right about that one. So but I think the costume's gonna look fine. The big thing is gonna be the voice. He can't because even watching like Oppenheimer, RDJ, he wasn't doing like that too different of a voice from Tony.
No.
But like is he gonna do a voice for Doom?
I don't think he has to, because from what I like the example you gave for Oppenheimer, it's just the performance and the things he says that like dials me in. Like I'm clear even without the makeup. I know I'm not watching Tony Stark. If I go to watch like Robert is giving a very intense performance and I'm locked into how he's performing it. Especially Strauss is like the closest I can think of as Downey playing a villain. I'd probably need to see a bit more of his work, but like lately that's like our closest, like a menace of like malice of like it kind of like the jealousy of Oppenheimer kind of could mirror the jealousy of Reed for that type of characterization. So from that, I like the idea, and he won the Oscar. So
yeah, so you're right. Yeah, I'm probably too high of expectations for him to do some kind of like committed voice or whatever. But we'll see. How much will he wear the mask? Great question, Draven. I'm still.
Will they do the HUD display?
Don't do that. God. I'm
can't.
thinking optimistically, like 70% he's wearing the mask. But people want to know that he's Robert Downey Jr. But like,
Do you think they paid him that insane level of money to keep the mask on?
for most of the movie, yes. Like, if there's a fight sequence that cracks the mask, I'm always a fan of that. I'm always a fan of that. In anime and movies, when like the hero punches the mask and it breaks and it shatters, and you see the scarred like villain, that shit is cool.
But you can
so
also see Doom's eyes through the mask, and I think you could do so much with like acting through the eyes.
You can. And again, people already know that it's Robert Downey Jr. under that, but like, you don't got to play on that. Make him be Doom. Again, I'm just nervous because already what we saw of him in Fantastic Four, he had the mask off. Franklin was holding the mask. I was just like,
we didn't look at his face for some reason.
So maybe that's like, okay, maybe he just keeps his mask on whenever it's off. Like he's turned around, like you can't see my face. I'm ugly. So we'll have to wait and see. But that's what I'm hoping for.
Totally.
The Spider-Man trailer's already out. It leaked, but
the effects aren't finished. But also, this was maybe recorded 2 months ago.
Yeah,
based on the computer.
I would say if it's true that, and I have no reason to doubt trailer track when they say Doomsday is coming in July. The trailer release is coming in February for Super Bowl.
Yeah,
let the Spider-Man one be in January. Ring in the new year with Spider-Man in January. Play a TV spot in February. Don't show anything until like April or May again, and you're good. So I think you can start the year off in January. It's coming.
What's coming out? Isn't there a big movie at the end of January coming out?
January is pretty weak, unless you consider that Chris January Pratt Mercy movie coming out.
Oh, you're not trying to see Primate?
Primate. They could play it in front of Sony's 28 years later Bone Temple if they want to. If they want to do that, it's not necessary, but they could.
I mean, but that's also R-rated,
right? Yeah, so it has no connection. So yeah, I can see them shadow dropping it in January, ringing in the new year. It's been a minute since Spider-Man had to release a movie in July. But I think we saw the first like Homecoming and Far From Home trailers early in the year too.
It was so late. It was so late. It was August 23rd or something the same year.
No. For the July releases, like the Homecoming one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was probably more like October. Sometimes they would be like really early out.
Yeah, sometimes they do like a really early trailer. Homecoming trailer, Spider-Man.
Teaser trailer.
Let's say.
But at this point, I also see them waiting for the Super Bowl as well. Because
the official trailer was December 9th for Homecoming.
Okay.
December 9th of that following year, of the prior year, I mean. Then the second trailer came out in March. And then the final trailer came out in May. So December, March, May.
We used to do ticket sales like 2 months in advance.
They did, I know. It's going to be crazy July next year. You're going to see Odyssey and then boom, Spider-Man. That's going to be crazy. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, that's it for Avengers stuff.
I also heard Reed Richards is going to have a little fight with Deadpool. Rumor.
Reed Richards fight? I didn't see. I saw that list of like duels that were going to happen in the movie, but I didn't write them down.
I saw that like 1 or 2 days ago. RPK, grain of salt. But I was like, odd. It must be like a group scuffle, right? Because there's not just like a one-on-one duel between Reed Richards and Deadpool.
It's giving 2-minute scuffle for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do you think they're gonna get more creative with Reed stretching in Doomsday?
Yes, I'll say yeah. Why not? Because he didn't do that crazy of a stretch power in F4.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got some other Marvel news I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
What do you think about this Jordan Peele Marvel movie stuff?
I think Josh needs help.
I
It's like,
said,
oh no, a great filmmaker is making these things that I want to be better. Oh no.
Nathan, what do you think of the Jordan Peele? Unless your name is also Josh,
Yeah.
Jordan Peele trailer. But yeah, you're right. That was kind of crazy.
That was funny. Yeah, got to get the occasional Josh Lauren. Listen, I think that's great. We don't know what prop.
Do you think it's true? First of all, do you think it's like happening? That'd be, yeah.
I think anything's possible. Because Marvel has gotten so much talent consistently. Like they pull a lot of great filmmakers in. They had Nia DaCosta, Chloe Zhao, Ryan Coogler, like all coming off of very prestigious accolades. So it's like, yeah, this isn't unheard of, right? It's just I think Jordan Peele has reached like a level of name success. Post comedy and his horror trilogy has gotten such big buzz. I didn't realize Nope wasn't as big of a hit.
Nope was a hit.
I thought so.
Nope,
I feel like a hit. Like people are treating it like
it bombed. Yeah, like
it was the other two. So
I looked up the Nope box office literally when Edgar was talking about it. It made 171 worldwide, which isn't a lot, but it had a $68 million budget. Like, it's still like number one opening weekend, had a good run. It just didn't do that well internationally, but it made a lot of money domestically. It made 70% of its budget domestically. So, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's very possible that they got him, found something that catches his eye, and I think they're gonna be very like conscious to let Jordan tell the kind of story he wants. I don't think he would sign on if they wouldn't. I'm sure he knows like how. Marvel's not the only movie studio that's like, hey, we want you to like follow this guideline with some things. Like that's every studio. It's not just Marvel. Sure, there's a greater interconnectivity, but that's just how the game's played in every studio. Like there's no way Jordan did get out and was like, I have free reign on everything now forever. This is not realistic.
That's true. This one seems weird though on two levels here, because you mentioned like Ryan Coogler, Nia DaCosta. Like Ryan Coogler was coming off of Fruitvale Station and Creed.
Yeah.
Like 2 movies. Nia DaCosta is coming off of Candyman, I think. And her other like indie movie, Little Woods.
Sure.
So like those are, but Jordan Peele had like a bigger, I mean, I don't want to compare Jordan Peele to Ryan Coogler. I think now Coogler is bigger, but like either way, Coogler wasn't bringing in his own production company. This is like J.J. Abrams bringing over Bad Robot and Bad Robot doing a movie with Marvel. Like it just seems weird.
Doing
like
a Star Wars movie with Disney,
right? Good point. But like this one's like Monkey Paw production working with Marvel Studios.
Mm-hmm.
In a world post Edgar Wright getting kicked out or leaving Ant-Man, it's like I don't know.
That was 10 years ago.
That was 10 years ago. A lot of things have changed, but since then they haven't gotten like a lot of like tours outside of a Chloe Zhao and like Ryan Coogler. And even then they weren't bringing in their own production company. It's like they're bringing in, if he actually brings in his own production company and does a movie like Blade, that'll be like unheard of. Either way,
this is the assumption, by the way, that
this is the assumption. This could be like this is off of an emoji that Monkey Paw Production did, the eye emoji over the whole like Jordan Peele wants to do a movie, and then a scooper was like, I heard that Jordan Peele asked to have talks with Marvel. And people are like, oh, okay, that changes things.
He really wants to make a Big Wheel movie.
A Big Wheel?
Do you know about Big Wheel? You remember Spider-Man the animated series, that giant, like those rocket racers?
Oh, that was really cool.
Yeah.
that was like riding on the building and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was cool. But yeah, I first of all, I don't think it's gonna happen. And if it does, it'll be after his original movie. I still think he's sticking to like an original movie that got like pushed away from Universal. It's supposed to come out next year. Now it's not. We don't know what's happening. So I think he'd still be doing the original movie, then do this Marvel movie. But either way, if he does do this Marvel movie, I think that's great news. I think Jordan Peele can collaborate very well with Feige.
Yeah, I think this could. People are like, this sounds impossible, but this could just be like the first step of how things will go now, maybe, because we know Marvel, from like the big trade reveals and whatnot, that Marvel was stretched too thin during the pandemic, and Feige didn't really have like the reins on everything like he wanted to, but also realized you can't do that consistently, and we need to like let things breathe more, which is why we got better turnouts for story-driven stuff like Thunderbolts, like Fantastic Four, and now moving forward, I think they want to be like, okay, we're gonna usher in like a whole new era of Marvel. We're resetting potentially, most likely. How do we bring people in to be like, okay, is this just like a remake from scratch? Are we just gonna like run phase one again? Like what makes it appealing to want to come back to Marvel in a new reset to like invest? I've already invested 20 plus years into the MCU. Why should I stick around? Here's Jordan Peele telling an original perspective on a property. Yeah, that sounds interesting. Let's start there.
Yeah, let's do it. And if it's Blade, that makes the most sense. A black character there. Because we already know it's not X-Men. We know they already have Jack Schreier from Thunderbolts doing X-Men. What do we do with this Blade guy? Yeah. But yeah, Jordan Peele Blade movie sounds great. Just let him do his thing. Let him do his thing. That's all you got to do. Just don't touch anything. Again, like you said, it could be as free as you want in a post-Secret Wars era, where there's no like you have to tie this into the overarching narrative. No, just do one and done Blade movie. And I don't think they're signing Jordan Peele on for a trilogy like they're going to probably do with like Destin or what they did with John Watts or whatever. This is probably just a one and done. Let me see how it is. If he likes it, he can come back. We'll see what happens. But like, I think this most likely going to start out as like a one and done deal. Because Jordan, what's up, Sonia? I think Jordan in the past said like he doesn't see himself ever doing like a comic book movie, which makes this all the more surprising. So it's like Timothée Chalamet doing a Marvel movie. Like that'd be insane. So
yeah, I guess at this stage. Right on. Good to have you back. I could also see like if this goes well, I'm not necessarily like, hey, want to do another pictures? Like I'm busy, but you could have like a Coogler situation where it's like I've introduced Ironheart in my movie, so I'll do like a little producer bit on the show. If he wants to do like a little producer involvement on Midnight Suns project, if they want to do that, I think that would be really cool as well. Because again, he has great takes of horror, and I think they want to, exploring these horror sides of the Marvel universe. It's good to get people who are from that world.
Yeah, for sure. Rated R Blade movie from Jordan Peele in the Marvel, like that sounds pretty incredible. But if it's not Blade, I don't know who it could be. I'm just happy that Jordan's doing a Marvel movie in general, if it's true. It sucks that nobody can like really press him for an interview because he has nothing coming out, nothing cooking. So it's like crap.
Can't reach out.
Yeah, I can't reach out, but we'll see what happens.
Draven had said it earlier.
I heard Ghost Rider's going to show up and give Galactus the penance there, just like in the cartoon. That'd be amazing.
That'd be fun.
Do we have to get Moon Knight out of limbo? His show was okay,
and we can from the ashes of their world, we can build a better one. I like Moon Knight quite a bit. I think people were also up in arms of like, I want to see the big kaiju fight, and then we kept it a bit more like dazed in the mind. I think it's good.
We did get a fight. We had whatever Khonshu fighting like big like.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I thought you said we didn't get that.
Well, like they were going at it in the background, and then Mark went under, and so did Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, I forgot that was Ethan Hawke. We can do better. We can.
Evan,
Maybe
if you
he'll
fell,
show up in Daredevil.
if you fell in love with Shang-Chi and everybody else had the take that you do on Moon Knight, does he not deserve more?
That wouldn't happen because everybody loves Shang-Chi.
Right. That's why we're about to get the 4th Shang-Chi movie. I'm so excited. What a great trilogy. Can you believe Destin did all that and Spider-Man?
Wreckage of Time, baby.
Wreckage of Time. What would the third one be? Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yes. Wrath of Time. And that kind of reminded me that the last Marvel thing I had was Simu Liu saying he wouldn't mind Chloe Zhao doing the sequel if Destin is unavailable.
Right on.
So Chloe Zhao would be a fun to bring back. I think she's on record saying like she didn't have a disastrous time doing Eternals as people think she did. I think she said she had fun doing that. I don't know if she would want to come back. But as a huge Hamnet fan, I'm a Hamnet defender. I think it's her best movie. I would love to see her come back. I would love to.
So Paul Mescal?
Paul Mescal, Jessie Buckley, who's going to be winning the Oscar as she should. I think Jessie Buckley's going to sweep. But yeah, I adore Hamnet. I cried both times watching that movie. So if you're watching this podcast and not watching Hamnet, please watch Hamnet. What?
What are the crew's thoughts on misspelling Hamlet?
It's brought up in the movie.
This is like hey, don't copy my homework. Change it up a bit so it looks different. Got you, Hamlet. Hamlet.
It's great. Speaking of Limbo, we got a number of podcasts in the past few years that seem to be dead ends. Yeah,
or not. What if I told you they weren't? What if I told you everything's been answered now? Give me an example. I'll fix it.
Hercules is gone.
All right, probably. But also, what if he's not? What if he's
gone? Hercules is gone.
What if he's the cold open battle intro to Thor?
He just dies. That would be a fun cold open battle intro, like for 5 minutes or whatever.
Give me an example that's not from Thor or Eternals.
Eternals.
Yeah, I knew you were, bitch. Damn it.
Eternals and Thor have the biggest ones.
I wasn't watching the Shang-Chi one, and I was like, well, I think they're going to pivot the distress signal of like the Bengal. Both
nobody remembers that one either. Nobody remembers. They're not going to bring it up.
I remember.
They're not going to bring it up.
Well, I mean, they could just pivot from like this came from Kang to this came from Doom. Like anything's possible.
Yeah, Doom,
the Russos made Endgame and it was like, hey, you remember how everyone seems to turn on the Dark World? Well, here's a key important scene for Thor. So,
that's true.
I think if Strange is in here, this will be brought up. Otherwise, it'll be saved for 3 probably.
Clea, you will not hear the word Clea in Doomsday. At all.
I need Charlize Theron in a big level spotlight that is not Fast and Furious.
Mad Max 10 years ago.
And she was great.
But yeah, I think you would not utter the word Clea, but she'll be in the 3rd movie. That's it.
She'll be in Secret Wars.
No.
Everyone will be in Secret Wars.
No.
Your mom's in Secret Wars.
Wow, that's where she's been the whole time. No.
What does that mean? Right. Have we done it?
Yeah, I didn't know we'd be 58 minutes. I hate ourselves.
I love it. But anyway, let's talk Percy Jackson.
Let's do that. We're gonna end off on Stranger Things.
What? Like there's a lot to say? Yes,
not really. But
hey now.
I fucking loved Percy Jackson season 2, episode 4, title I think Clarice blows up everything. Blows up everything. Yeah. Which is the title of the chapter in the book. Is a book. Yeah, book chapter. This is without a doubt, the best episode of Percy Jackson season 2, and I think the best episode of Percy Jackson overall. If I was to ever
and to come,
and if, I think because Walker, I said this last week. Walker said this is his favorite episode of the season. Leah,
I'm finally used to Walker's deep voice now.
Good. Yeah. But Leah said she loves this week's episode, Cersei's Island stuff. We have a big Annabeth moment coming in, what's today? Today, Tuesday? Wow.
Tomorrow. Tonight?
Yeah, tonight and tomorrow. So yeah, we have a big Annabeth moment coming tomorrow. And then Grover, Ari and Sampadri, him and Luke, him and Charlie, who plays Luke, they say their favorite episode is the finale. So lots of good stuff to come, but I cannot wait for tomorrow's episode. It's going to be emotional. That's all I'll say. But this episode, like, it embodies what I love about Percy Jackson. We got some great Annabeth character work. The Clarice character work continues to be outstanding. Again, guys, I just reread Sea of Monsters. Clarice in the books is super annoying, and she does like a lot of things wrong. We don't get her perspective, so she's super annoying. Yeah,
she was annoying to me in season 1 because I was like, "What is one-dimensional evil bully for no reason?"
I love how Dior, the actress who plays Clarice, talks about that. She's like, she's a little bit one-dimensional in season 1 because she wasn't on the quest, and she was used as like an antagonistic hurdle for Percy, at least during Camp Half-Blood. But now we're getting some great stuff here from her own quest. What'd you say?
Is she in book 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything from the show is pretty much 1-to-1 from the books, at least in book 1. Flushing his head in the toilet, all that kind of stuff, or trying to at least.
Fighting the Empire State Building.
Yeah, not that one. But yeah,
all that marketed and was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was bad. But the Clarice stuff here, it continues off the great Clarice character work from last week's episode, where we were introduced to, Blockbuster Mitch, I think was his name. I forget. But all her other castmates, she has this burden placed upon her to do well by Ares, her own father. You better not fail this quest. She tells Percy the depths of her quest. This one today, finally, or last week, going over how she'll be left alone. Her friends will leave her if she fails. Like, what does that mean? We'll have to wait and see. But she feels really burdened by that. She doesn't want to be left alone, which is why when Percy asked her what happened to your 2 other people you could bring along for the quest, she said, "I brought nobody along." There wasn't any big explanation, but she just doesn't want to be betrayed again because she asked Annabeth, and Annabeth betrayed her. That's very. So Clarice's character work is great. Annabeth's stuff is great, and Annabeth's character work about guilt that happened in the past and how everybody is relying on her in the present, and how like small human choices affected what happened to her in the past, where she went back for the bracelet. That didn't really mean much in all intents and purposes. But then now in the present, people are relying on her. So she has to be wary about stuff that she did in the past, like how she made these small human choices that ended up getting Talia killed, in her perspective. And now in the present, she has to be the one making the choices. Farheen, what's up? Are you scared for Doomsday? I'm not scared for Doomsday. I ain't scared. Doomsday should be scared of me. I can box Doomsday. We can beat him up, right, Nathan?
Doomsday is a bitch.
Right? Yeah. Come on, throw these hands. Doomsday my ass.
Throw these gauntlets.
Right? Come on.
This is Thanos' exact dialogue before the spine rip.
Before the spine rip, exactly. You think they're going to do that? No chance, right? No chance.
I think 90% chance. Yes, it's a very iconic panel. I don't think you're going to see the spine leave the flesh in frame, but you're gonna see clever editing, and then he's gonna pull the spine. Although, if they wanted to go that grim, it's not human blood, so you could.
They could use the green shit.
It's very much. Yeah, we'll be chatting that up in a little bit after our Percy talk.
Yeah, like in 20 to 30 minutes, we're going to talk about Stranger Things. So stick around, like and subscribe. In fact, ring the bell. The bell has been rung.
Ring the bell to know when Doom is coming.
Exactly. We'll keep you. We have our own like Doomsday clock in our own podcast.
Watchmen.
Every time you watch a podcast from us, you're one step closer to watching Doomsday. Boom.
You know what's crazy is I think like from now, if you watched one MCU property a week, I think you hit them all by Doomsday's release.
That's crazy. How many weeks are in a year again? 48? 52.
Thanks, Professor Harris.
I teach history.
Then you should know the fucking calendar, bitch. I teach history. I teach the years. I don't teach the fucking months.
I go over the Julius calendar actually.
What the Julius calendar?
I don't know. Where was I? But yeah, the Annabeth stuff I just love to death. And of course, the Percy and Annabeth line where Percy's like, I knew you for 2 days, or I only had to know you for 2 days to understand just how special you are. Great line.
Let me say. Let me be clear. I think I said this last week too, but like I think there was like a couple of pep talk moments from Percy where he's like, "No, you are the best person on the planet." and look, again, as I said last week, I know romance is in the future, but I admire the fact that whenever Annabeth is taking these compliments, it's not in like, oh wow, you're so dreamy, Percy, thank you for saying that. It's like it's building up her internal confidence of herself, which in turn is just garnering points of favoritism in the character of Percy that she will then fall for, which I love that.
You took the words way better than I could have ever said it. Yeah, I think it's which I think is great character work, right? Like it's not. I mean, like it is in your face. Well, which is very funny because like I watched a Walker interview because Walker is like I think I mentioned it last week where Walker notoriously like I'm trying to portray Percy, knowing that like in the future he will like Annabeth, but what he says to Annabeth is something he would definitely say to like Grover and maybe even Tyson, which I think is true. But like Grover, he said to Annabeth. Yeah,
he did say Grover was beautiful in the dress.
He did say, "Oh, you look beautiful." Imagine said to Annabeth, people would lose their minds.
I'm on the floor.
But you're right, Nathan. It's so good because these are the small and special moments that we'll just look back on and be like, Percy, yeah, you're a true friend, but like you
when
like
on the fan cams.
Yeah, you're right. And there's already a lot out there. So it's really impressive how I'm just so floored how great Leah and Walker are as Annabeth and Percy respectively in this season. I think they've grown into their roles even more because again I was rewatching bits of season 1 and I'm like, oh yeah, they're just even better. It's the same thing for Harry Potter where you're watching these actors grow into their characters and really get a sense of like, okay, these people are actually like really killing it. Like I think Daniel Radcliffe, his best performance, I think he gets better and better. I think my favorite Daniel performance is in 6. I think he really same thing for Malfoy. I think Homeboy is really good. Oh my god! Like I think I'm biased because that's my favorite movie, but like I think each actor just gets better and better as they go on.
Which makes sense because you're going from literal child acting to learning the craft.
Exactly. And you're acting with the same people for like a decade at that point. So there's a familiarity with the character and the people you're with. So yeah, that was all. The character work is great. Flashbacks are great. I want to talk about that in a second. But like the finale here, the last 5-10 minutes, pure great. Fantastic, I think perfect action sequence. I think the lighting could be better, but I think like even with the lighting being kind of like cloudy, it makes a lot of sense because you're in a very you're in a storm basically. You're in the heart of the storm, so it makes sense that things are so chaotic. And just the score, I think Bear McCreary's score was just next level there. The way everything's going to shit, the thermos with the wind. hits the bottom next to Tyson. Things start to blow up. You don't see what happens to Tyson. And then like Clarice and Annabeth hold each other. They look at each other, and then they go into the sky. The ship's floating. You see characters just start flying everywhere. Percy starts looking up. It's like, oh my God! Like this is, it's incredible. It's way better than what happened in the book. I think in the book, one of Scylla's, no spoilers. I mean, we already went past it, but like one of Scylla's like hedge grabs Percy and flings him up, and he watches the ship explode or whatever. This one makes more sense, where it's like he's still on the ship, and it's like we don't know what happens. Whereas just like you see the ship like disintegrate. It was just stunning.
And it was such a cool kick up for it all too. He was like, I think I can control the current, but I can't control the wind. And just like having all these, my God, the making like, how do you make a set piece out of myth?
Right.
So cool. And yeah, I love like that stuff with that Annabeth and Clarice, like going after one another and whatnot. These different things are beautiful. The rain is wonderful. You know, I got to comment on the rain. Pretty great. You know, I love rain, but when the atmosphere is gloomy, 11 out of 10. You did it.
Even better. And yeah, the whole set was just outstanding. But yeah, I want to get into this because I think what makes this so special, this episode so special, is like, you know, this wasn't the longest episode. Which people have had complaints about, like Percy episodes need to be longer. I think it's fine for Sea of Monsters because Sea of Monsters is the shortest book of the 5. But I am curious, you know, book 3 is a big like Prisoner of Azkaban-esque turning point. So I do want longer episodes with darker material. People start dropping. But I will say, like with this episode being shorter, I would really maybe admire the character work even more because it was very concise and like very good here. But yeah, we finally get the flashback to seeing Talia. I say Talia, but they say Thalia. I grew up saying Talia. The H was always
Al Ghul.
Maybe that's why, because I grew up on Talia, Al Ghul, and Thalia. Talia doesn't have the H, but you know Thalia does.
Raz Al Ghul.
On Arrow, they say Raish Al Ghul. I'm like, it's not Raish.
A little racist of them.
I always say Roz Al Ghul. But yeah, so we see Thalia, Luke, and little Annabeth. Annabeth here was about, I think, 6 years old here. She had just recently left her family. Remember, Annabeth talked about how in season 1 she had a very bad time with her dad, who they just recently cast for season 3 again, Jesse L. Martin from The Flash.
That is like your 3rd week saying that. You are jonesing for this man.
I can't wait. People are going to hate him because like what father, like, you know, Annabeth is 6 years old and she's alone on the street and she gets saved by Luke and Thalia here, right? So like something had to have happened to make a 6-year-old run from home. Maybe not the best family environment. So I can't wait. But anyways, I just like seeing this dynamic form. And especially following last week where Luke told Annabeth, like, we were on the run for 2 years, me and Thalia. You were with us for like 2 months. Like, what does Thalia mean to you? Thalia would definitely side with me, Luke speaking. Getting to see Luke's words in episode 3 compounded upon with seeing Thalia in the short amount of like character work and action that we see from her here, you can kind of like, you know, piece together what would Thalia do in the present if she saw what Luke was doing. You know, Luke is the kind of one that stabbed her, you know, as a tree in the first episode there. Not great. But like, would Thalia side with Luke against the gods? We kind of see here in the flashback that she's on the run. They don't want to go to Camp Half-Blood. Oh, and this is also a book change. Red alert, book change. where Luke seems to already know about Camp Half-Blood. He says, I don't want to go to Cult Half-Blood. So he seems to have some kind of familiarity already with Camp Half-Blood and what goes on there. We don't, as book readers, we don't get the sense of like Luke's history with Camp Half-Blood and like his parents, why he's so against Hermes. We don't really get a sense of that until the last book, book 5, the finale. But so I think we'll get more with that earlier than the books did, just to make everything more seamless. But yeah, because all we know is like he hates Hermes and he says the gods are using people. That's kind of what we got there. But Luke already has like a big reason for not wanting to go there. Something bad happened to him, and that's why he says can't quote Half-Blood, which is interesting. That's all I'll leave off with, but it's just very interesting. I love that he just like doesn't want to go back there. We were introduced to Camp Half-Blood as a pretty good place. You know, not the most welcoming to people like Percy or even Tyson, but it is a pretty nice home away from home for people like Clarice and Annabeth. So that was interesting. What?
As long as Chiron is there.
Yeah, as long as Chiron is there. This guy, Tantalus, is not great.
Is this going to be a Dumbledore arc where it's like Azkaban wanted to step away, so I complied. I did my fuckery on the side, and now I'm back.
Yeah.
And it's another Tuesday.
We never know. It's so funny how Chiron and Dumbledore are alike there. Especially because the whole prophecy, Chiron knows more about the prophecy than Percy does, and Dumbledore knew a lot more about Harry than Harry does. But
I would love for one of these to like be like a lead into an adventure, like here's the new prophecy, and then like midway through the tale it's like it wasn't your prophecy. You're like, oh god.
Oh shit. But yeah, I like seeing Thalia here. She's very kind, she's very much like an older sister, maybe even like a mother figure. I'll say older sister vibe to Annabeth. Not really motherly, but like she really cares for Annabeth. So much so, but by the end of the episode, even though Annabeth made the small human choice to try and go back to get her amulet or bracelet that Luke said was the defense against monsters. He was making that up, but it was still to give her hope. And that hope kind of led her to valuing a small trinket more than she probably should have. And it kind of cost Thalia realizing that like we can't really care for Annabeth on the run like this. We got to take her to someplace safe. Hence, they go to Camp Half-Blood. They go on the hill. And in this, another book change, red alert, book change. Maybe not. Maybe we'll see. I have a feeling we'll see this flashback in a different way, a la Last of Us season 2. When we got the flashback, people were like, that's the only time we're going to see it? Oh my gosh. And then by the end, we got the porch scene. I think we'll see this again through Luke's eyes. Because this one we saw through Annabeth's eyes. Annabeth, she's like, Annabeth, keep on going. Thalia's like, I'll distract the Furies. In this case, it was like the winged Furies from season 1 were the ones that attacked Thalia. In the book, they were Cyclopses that was fighting Thalia, which is why Annabeth does not like Cyclopses.
They do establish Annabeth is being pursued by Cyclopses.
Yeah. Oh, they do? Or it's like she gets ganged up on by like those last Dragonians, which are similar to Cyclopses. Which is, by the way, funny because like we get the last Dragonians here, and we get Scylla here. Both of those species are what we'll see in the Odyssey in a few months. Which I was watching the whole Scylla thing. I'm like, this is very cool, but how is Christopher Nolan going to do like the whole Scylla Odysseus play here? Is it having to sacrifice 6 of your men just to get through that? It could be a very emotional scene. I really want to see Nolan's take on that like hard choice for Odysseus.
Is Odysseus aware of that prior to entering?
Yes, I believe so. I believe so. I think Odysseus is in Clarice's shoes, and has to pick 6 men.
Would you have told the men like, "Hey, at least 6 of you were going to die.
Hell no.
Tell them, but it'd be like, all right, it's fine because we're gonna go to heaven, right?
But Elysium.
Yeah.
And isn't it crazy? These are undead creatures.
Yeah.
But I had such an I was very much emotionally compelled. I think this is also propelled by Dior's acting in the scene to just like, she's like, I already promised them Elysium. And Annabeth's choice, and I heard some people online, being idiots, but like, Annabeth's choice is the correct choice. Like, because I know people are like, there is no, it's a rock and a hard place. Like, that's where it comes from. There is no great choice here. But Annabeth's choice was the right one. These people were already dead. They are the undead. And if they die, unfortunately, they die. They're already dead. We can keep on going. All three of us and Tyson are going to be safe. If we can just stick on this course, they'll get picked off. We can swing on into deeper sea of monsters. But Clarice can't do that. And I saw some people online like blaming Annabeth for some reason. I don't know. But like either way, I love this so much because Clarice is making a very emotional choice, which is unique for a daughter of the God of War, which is something. She's like, yeah, but I already promised them Elysium. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So that was just very interesting. And I really like Annabeth here feeling very down because there's just a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure on her for this quest. She is looked at to as like the daughter of the goddess of wisdom. And as Percy constantly been saying, even last week, saying like, I'm fine with not knowing the prophecy because I know that you know it and I trust you. And then in this one, it's like, Annabeth, me and Clarice can make up the decision. What can you do? And then she makes up her decision. And because people's lives are at stake and Annabeth can't control everything. I think she is plagued by the need to constantly do right. And I think that choice is just very difficult for her because Percy's all about, I think the writer of the show phrased it so well, and I forget the quote, but I think he said Percy is propelled by the need to do right, or Percy's needed to do what is right, while Annabeth is like, just do right, like do it the correct way, while Percy's like, I have to do it like the benevolent way, like I do what is right and just, while Annabeth is like, I got to do what is like strictly correct, what is right. So the two slightly different things. But they both come together and harmonize very well here as she's struggling and Percy comes in to give her like kind of like that freedom to be like, hey, I trust you. It's okay. I know how special you are. It was just very heartwarming. Also, I want to talk about Annabeth throwing away her bracelet, which was very special too. I think this connects with her just experiencing Luke not being the best guy. They almost got killed on Luke's ship. The bracelet is connected to like something that Luke gave her. She's trying to step away from that, be not a person that is plagued by weak choices. Like this bracelet was a weak choice that she did in the past, and she has to just focus on like being the leader of this quest. She throws it in the water, but then it gets brought back. We don't know what. Tyson does say that he was talking to a character, Rainbow. We don't know what that is. So that's going to be curious to see what is going to come back. Book readers, y'all know what's up. But it's what?
It goes nowhere.
If it goes nowhere, it'd be very funny. People are already complaining. I'm just like, just let the writers cook, guys. Things don't have to be straight from the book.
The slower the cook, the better the taste.
Exactly. Let it simmer, baby. But I thought that was a very good moment for Annabeth too. She's trying to like let go, be more strategic, but then she's also burdened by the strategy of it all too. So I like the Annabeth stuff here, and Clarice as well. Again, I was just like never expected to be so emotionally immersed in her decision making here. When she is looking in the eyes of the captain, who kind of realizes what's going on, and they lock eyes before he gets taken out. Ooh.
Man.
So that was very good. That was a very good moment, and then of course the action was great as well. So yeah, I'm loving this season so far. It's very strong, very strong. Oh, also I like seeing Grover there. Grover being the one to like try and get Annabeth to join the team. He kind of like it's a running joke that he doesn't really age that much. Grover is like kind of like in his 30s, which is why in the movie they had him like have like that peach fuzz like facial hair stuff in the movie, because like he is technically older than Percy, but satyrs age differently, so like he's going to be like the same height in like his brain. He's even though he's older than Percy, he has like a teen vibe as well. So what's it called? So that's just very funny. Same thing for Tyson as well. Tyson's kind of like a younger baby, but he's like tall and like it looks older.
Sure.
But yeah, so we don't know what happened to all our characters. They kind of went into the whirlpool. They all died. What happened to the boat? Are they all out of like the wind, like the Hermes wind that they gave them? Are they all out of that? So
that would be so tragic. It's just like the SpongeBob movie.
Exactly. SpongeBob got it from Percy Jackson.
Yeah. But yeah, what is crazy about the show is like in theory, if someone dies in the show, then you can see them in the underworld technically.
Yeah.
Get a pearl.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one dies. It's comics. Just kidding. I played the Kills Gods will surely be introduced.
In later seasons and spinoffs, we do explore like Tartarus and the underworld even more than season 1 did. So
thoughts on doing commentaries of Clash and Wrath of the Titans?
I would love to, honestly. Those movies are a mess, but they're fun. I think of them like in that 1999 Godzilla stuff, where it's like the mythology is like not there, but like it's fun to a degree.
There's a new they just did Caravan of Garbage on both of those. It's hilarious.
Oh, they did. Yeah. I haven't watched those in years. I think I saw them in theaters and that was it.
Why is the cast so stacked?
I forget who it is besides Sam Worthington. Who else is in those movies?
It's Liam Neeson, Zeus.
Yeah, you're right.
Hades is Ralph Fiennes. Incredible casting, right? The second one I forget, but Rosamund Pike was cast like pre-Gone Girl.
Rosamund Pike's in that?
In the second one, yeah. So is
like
Toby Kebbell. One.
Is she like the girl in distress there or something like that? Rosamund Pike?
I think there's another girl who has mostly no lines and is played by Lily James. Again, in the second one. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Why is everyone here? Fucking who's our boy from Another Round in Doctor Strange and Rogue One?
Matt Mikkelsen?
He's in the first one.
That's amazing. That's crazy. Sword and Sandal movies, man. But yeah, I'm loving Percy Jackson. The character work is just so great. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. Give me 1 second here. Oh yeah. Okay. I had a whole paragraph, but I already talked about it in my long ramble about the bracelet, human choices. But I think that just nails what makes Percy Jackson so special, and like the quest they go on is like, yeah, they can have they can have these like big, grand quests, but they're all still just kids. Whether they're the daughter of Zeus, the daughter of Poseidon, or son of Poseidon, the daughter of war, like they still make these human emotional choices that can change up everything. Because Clarice goes against the plan and just ruins everything. Literally blows the ship up by like choosing to sacrifice men, but then also go into the whirlpool and then lose to that too. So it's just like
it's the false hope that you can get out of the situation that is locked.
Exactly. It had to balance like fate and all that kind of stuff there too. So
yeah, but speaks to her character.
It does. It does. That
Yeah.
she's even making this emotional decision. You wouldn't think that it was like within her to do it, but like it is, and she is just a human making these small human choices that have big consequences. So this is if you guys aren't watching Percy Jackson, this was the episode to do it. I mean, you know, watch the whole series, but this one really locks in why I love this show. So
would you have picked the tentacles or the whirlpool?
I would have picked, you know, like if I not knowing about the whole 6 head thing, that was very smart from Annabeth, but like I would have just like picked the whirlpool because I'm like Clarice. I'm like, hey, it gives us one small thing to shoot at. We can just shoot it and then be done with it and just ride off the other side of the whirlpool. Because you can't really see the head. You can't. It's impossible to like kill it. But you're more so just sacrificing 6 people. So yeah. So I would have done the whirlpool, but like I get why Annabeth did that, and Annabeth's the right one, so she's smarter than me. So yeah.
If you had no 6 sacrifices.
Yeah. If I didn't have like, if I didn't have 6 people,
impulse picking.
So that's tragic. But yeah, I can't wait for tonight's episode. It's going to be a fun one. But yeah, let's end off here on some Stranger Things. There's also some news stories that I forgot to mention up top, but we can talk about it after Stranger Things.
Okay. Now there's a finale trailer out. I didn't watch it. I don't need it.
I did not watch it either. Yeah.
But I will be seeing it tomorrow in theaters. So exciting.
This one's going to be so funny. So funny.
So don't fucking do this to me. What are you doing?
I'm just going to say.
What do you know?
Nothing. I know absolutely nothing. But I do know the fandom has been up in arms over this volume, which I don't think was great. But people are over-exaggerating how bad it was, first of all. And
I heard the latest episode, the last like episode 7, is the lowest rated. And I was like, okay, I see who's rating it and why.
Yeah, it's tough, right? Because people are hating on it for different reasons. Let me just share. But what I was going to say though is that like, if the finale is like of the quality of like what we got with the last volume, which I don't think was great, like these theaters are packed out. Like I know people are going to be acting like fools if they hate this ending. They're going to be you're going to hear boos, you're going to hear stories out the Wow Zoo tomorrow. I think it's going to be crazy.
I think at this point, the kind of people who are committing to seeing it in theaters are probably already on board with like the narrative of the story. Otherwise, they could. Like,
I don't think so.
I feel like they are. Like, tickets were on sale like a month ago. We've had time for like the season to play out. You sit with it, you know, get your feelings. Like you could decide to be, I'll just watch it on my TV, or if you're like, no, I'm gonna see the ending of it all on the big screen.
You think the people that like the Will and whatever his name is,
what?
The Will and Mike relationship, you don't think they bought tickets to see this in theaters?
I don't
think
they're gonna
lose their mind when the finale comes around and nothing happens.
I think it was very clear since season 4 that wasn't going to.
We say that, Nathan, but have you seen the Byler Twitter accounts? It's insane.
I don't know, Evan. Or the Stephen Bucky shipper is not going to come out to Endgame. I don't know.
That one's different.
Oh,
because that one's like. I mean, I haven't been like in the trenches. Like I haven't seen the Stephen Bucky stuff as much as I'm seeing the Will and Mike stuff on my timeline, at least. Like Stephen Bucky stuff was like, you know, algorithms are curated. True,
but it's like they're marketing from like the first Endgame teaser that Steve's still looking at Peggy's picture in the compass.
Exactly. But the morning after Volume 2 came out, it was hell on earth.
Really,
and
I'm so late.
Let me just say, my thoughts on Volume 2 soured deeply after. So, are you unaware of the?
I only watched everything yesterday. My timeline is. I haven't even like, really been on Twitter at all.
That's crazy. So let me tell you, the Duffer Brothers came out with an interview the morning after the finale of Volume 2, which changed people's thoughts completely.
Don't ruin it for me.
So, my thoughts on Volume 2, especially the Will coming out scene, which I'm watching it. I told Jalen, I'm like, people are gonna hate this shit, obviously, because it's homophobes, all that kind of stuff. But even outside of that, you have the it was gonna be a mess, and I didn't love the scene. It did. Me and Jalen kept pausing it because like I was laughing, and I'm like, I don't think I should be laughing when this is happening, but it just Jalen's criticism. I wish Jalen was in here. Jalen. Okay, no, I thought I saw him in the kitchen.
You text
but
him.
Because his complaint was that like it wasn't framed the best. Yeah, this whole crowd of people, and they're all over him, and it's all like,
I like you, Will.
I like you. I like you.
On the couch.
It was overstuffed in my opinion, and I think it just wasn't framed. For me, it wasn't like directed and presented naturally. I think it was very sloppily presented. I think, and I said this that night when I was watching it. I paused it, and I'm like, I told Jalen how I mentioned it on a podcast that I think this volume he's going to come out, and I think you guys can flick back the tapes. I said I predict he's going to come out mostly to his mom, or it'll be like an individual thing. At least by the end of the series, to have it be like this whole big like thing, just wasn't framed the best, especially in like an hour where like, okay, and this kind of how they framed it, where it's just like, okay, the car's parked, we're full of gas, we gotta go, we gotta do one more crawl, we gotta go. And Will's like, I gotta say something, guys. It's like
there was I had one little speck of a moment where I was like, I don't remember seeing Hopper there at all, and I was like, that's fine. That doesn't really need to, even though he's kind of a stepdad, so that would be good. But I saw Murray in the back out of focus, and I'm like, I don't think Murray has to be here, if I'm being honest.
He doesn't. No,
he doesn't. If anything, thank God they didn't cut to him to like clown on him. Are we talking about this scene?
Yeah. We're talking about the same scene. Yeah. I was just looking up like the interview from
right
a few days ago. But it was just for me. It was just like it was just too crowded. It didn't feel that natural. That's the biggest word I can use. It didn't feel natural to me. It didn't feel like something that didn't feel authentic. It didn't feel natural. It just felt like I gotta say it. And I get it in terms of the narrative. Will's reasoning for doing it now, it felt like it just felt oddly placed. I didn't buy with the timing of it all. And again, I think they had something special when he's just talking to his mom. Just have him talk to his mom, have that be its own like individual scene, instead of just being like this. It just felt cheesy too, and it's like I feel alone, and then you're like, then you have the whole cast come together, give him a whole big group hug. Then characters who don't even know Will are just sitting there in the background, like
don't Lando clap. Don't you?
But that's what it felt like. It didn't feel that personal. The personal effect didn't come out there. So yeah, I'll talk about the interview in a second. But what were your overall thoughts on that scene?
All right, well, we're on a fucking seesaw because here's my other end of the spectrum. I am on the other end of this thought process. This is God damn it, this is my favorite scene of the show. One of them, at least, in perspective. Granted, I haven't binged the show in a hot minute, but like, of like stand out. Yeah, man, I love this scene a lot. I cried, damn it.
Wow.
Yeah. So now you're homophobic.
You caught me.
Gotcha. I knew it. This is the last episode of Tea, everybody. I'm sorry. We had to part ways. No, but yeah, no. I think this was. God, that feels like an uphill battle. I thought this was wonderful. I thought it was framed okay because it's everyone sitting on a couch, so I think it's framed as best you can in close quarters. I also, to counter your point, I think it was a very realistic performance of the pressure of trying to explain something about yourself to a large group that you feel will judge you is something I've experienced before, and that exasperated feeling is very real. I've definitely been in moments where I've tried to admit something and my hands are literally shaking, things like that. And I could hear that in the performance so thoroughly that I was like, yeah, this is really hitting me because I know like how negative that feeling is. And because of the importance of it for the character, I think was also driving a lot for me. I love that he is mostly facing his mom during a lot of it. At least his body is pointed towards her, and I don't personally see it being more successful of going on a more individual level. I mean, I guess you could if you're like doing like here's the D&D group, but it feels kind of iffy because then like you're taking multiple scenes to be like giving out the same information, or worse, you have a moment like, hey, I need to talk to you for a second, and then we cut away, and then like next scene is like, oh, we get the gist, like you told him, but then you like lose that factor of the whole friend groups and how they responded and reassured him. I think it is best to do it in the group setting. And yeah, I thought it was just beautiful, and I love that the charge was taken where Joyce talks first, and then Will's brother comes in to reassure. Especially when you like go full round of season 1 to how Jonathan had such a negative effect with their birth father, who I believe has homophobic tendencies as well. So where like the most of like the that whole scene in Will was missing, so we mainly got Jonathan and his dad, and it's a very negative outlook. So to see like how caring Jonathan was towards Will in the moment, and like hugging him, giving him like reassuring kiss on the cheek, whatnot, felt very emotional. And I love that the party was coming through. I even like the little like moment where you don't have to explicitly say like, Will, Mike, I had a crush on you. You don't have to do all that. I think it's also very realistic. I think it's also very realistic to be like, yeah, I had these feelings for somebody that clearly did not have that. And I think even as a viewer, that's very clear because Mike is so 11 pilled. Like there was no chance ever. I'm sorry to shippers, and I admire people who
they're watching a completely different show. They're watching a completely different show.
Yeah. And again, like I all the power to you to wanting that, but just everything that the story was feeding me made it clear. Especially like that breakdown scene in the car from season 4 with Will. It's like that's the acceptance of the moment. Like it's not happening, and Will is broken by that, and him bringing that up without fully saying so, but then still getting the cut to Mike. Where it's clear, it's not like Mike's like, oh, that was me, but he's just listening to his friend get out this important thing, and he's there just as everybody else is for Will in this moment. And narratively, I think it is also a good tee up for Will has been so plagued every single season. He effectively is like, most people focus on like if you pick a main character 11 being the focus, which that's a fair thing, but like Will has such a deep connection with the greater threats throughout the entire series that where it all culminates here, where the reason he's coming out is because Vecna showed him images of his friends, not even like explicitly being like, oh, we hate you, but like very clearly like changing the dynamics, treating them differently and whatnot, and just everything changing. That's a real fear that is possible. That's not a supernatural like end of world thing. That's just a personal real thing that could happen, especially in this thing in the 80s. My God. Yeah. So I think the overall like through line between the first volumes with at least 3 different scenes where Will and Robin were able to communicate their situations leading to this works so well for me, and is why it's like some of my favorite stuff that I've seen. And again, I go like a lot of gaps between watching Stranger Things, but I genuinely like Will quite a bit, despite what the internet does, with their own opinions. And the tee up of making Will such a more powerful and like self-agency character this season, I think has helped lead to this emotional moment as well. So that where he is being so vulnerable with it really hits for me personally.
Yeah, I think Will's a solid character. I think his performance could be better, but I'm not fully about performances. But I agree. I think I agree with you too that like the necessity of the moment too was felt in the sense that he said like I don't want to be. He's been hit with so much trauma, like you mentioned. He doesn't want it to be used against him in the coming finale, which is why it had to be now. But it didn't feel that natural because everything else felt so urgent. but I do get it. But one of the parts that bugged me from the interview, I finally found it. That was hilarious because I'm watching this, and one of my criticisms of the scene was like the reactions, like in each whenever they pan back to the crowd, there's like not everybody like for me at least they look stone faced, and they're all like supportive, shaking their head, but not the most emotive performances until they get up, right? Until they say like, "Hey, we're with you."
Well, I think in that sense, you're not entirely sure where the direction of the emotion's going to go, but it hits especially, I think, during the explanation when they cut to Robin, because Robin fully is aware, 100% what this is. Yeah, and it's very effective for her as well. She's emotionally impacted by it, by seeing somebody take the agency to be able to tell such close friends this very vulnerable secret that you could easily be ostracized by in the time they live.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, the Duffer Brothers confirmed in an interview the following morning that Mike realized he was Will Byers' crush in that moment, which for me makes no sense whatsoever. I rewatched the scene. You cannot tell me in Mike's expression at all that he realized he was Will's crush. That's just baffling to me.
I think that's a
moment that was just so that was like okay.
Yeah, I think that's a eternalized thought that Will could be believing when he says those words at that exact moment.
Right.
But I don't know about Mike instantly being like, "Oh, me, yeah, oh, whatever."
That's what the Duffers say. I'm like, okay.
Because all in all, it doesn't matter, right? I mean, unless we're getting like a whole other ass scene in the finale, like it really doesn't affect anything whatsoever. It's, as long as Mike knows how Will feels in general and is supportive, that's all you need, because also Will has moved on and has put this behind him. It's affected him greatly, but it's affected him greatly, but like he's also realizing, just like Robin, it's not working with this person. You got to find your actual real person.
Exactly. Which we mentioned in the first volume, that was like that seems like the best option for him.
Yeah.
To realize that, and then for that. But I thought Mike would have like a one-on-one scene or something, but for him to realize it off during that scene is like doesn't make sense. But also,
I thought it was going to do that when just the scene right before where Will's about to tell his mom, and then Mike walks. Which scared me for a second, because I thought Mike interrupted, and it was like a comedic cut, not comedic, but just like a cut off to like, oh, we got to do the main plot. We can't get into this right now. And I was like, don't lose this momentum. But then they actually commit, and I'm like, okay. Yeah. So that made me feel better as well. Go
on. But my favorite scene, unless you did something else to add.
I think we hit all the corner. I do like the individual connection to everybody, and I like that, again, even though for some reason Murray is there, they didn't cut to him and do a wisecrack. That was a relief. Yeah.
I think for me, I would have, if you want to keep the group setting, I think if you keep it around the central cast, Will, Mike, his mom, and then the main the Losers Club for all whatever, you know what I mean. The party, like keep them all together, having all the adults in there and then other people in there, just it didn't feel that special. But my favorite scene from Volume 2 was Jonathan and Nancy. I liked this relationship. I liked that unproposal scene, but and I guess the internet read it completely differently than the Duffer Brothers, because they said Nancy and Jonathan officially have broken up following this scene. And I was flabbergasted, absolutely flabbergasted. I watched this
really,
and I'm like, okay, Jonathan's not proposing to her. It's an unproposal. Makes sense. The marriage thing was stupid. It wasn't going to work. These people are far too young. But they say they love each other. So I'm like, okay, they're going to continue their relationship on. The marriage thing, throw that away, whatever. But I had no clue. I guess I didn't watch the interview, but the actors were telling them how they were reading it in real time and realized they were getting broken up from the Duffer Brothers as well. But like to have that relationship be completely broken up is ridiculous from that scene alone, where they admit that they love each other. They're not going to get married. And you expect me to believe that they broke up completely in that scene alone? I think is one of the worst things I've seen all year. I was shocked. I was shocked and appalled because it was one of the most heartwarming scenes I've seen all year. From the show. In terms of like, okay, this is Jonathan making a mature decision to talk about their relationship, what they love, what they don't like about each other, what they like about each other. And I was going to marry you, Nancy. I was going to ask you to marry me, Nancy, but that's kind of stupid. But at the end of the day, I love you. And then she says, I love you too, Jonathan. And me and Jen were like, wow, this was a great scene. I really liked it. One of my favorite parts of Volume 2. Come to realize they're broken up come the finale. Or like when the finale starts. And I'm just flabbergasted, shocked and appalled. Because that didn't seem like a breakup to me. It felt like a scene where two characters were being extremely vulnerable with one another and realizing, hey, maybe moving forward with a marriage isn't the right option here. But the way they hugged, cried, said I love you multiple times in that very conversation. And I'm like, I'm not reading this as a breakup whatsoever. And in an interview, they said like, yeah, this is confirmed to be where they broke up. And baffling to me.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. So my take on the scene is by the very end of the scene, I figured they were broken up.
Really?
I did. By that point, by the very end, yes. Now, I while watching it, I did go through a bit of ups and downs of like, okay, we're putting things out on the table. We're about to die, assumably. But we're putting everything out on the table. But I think like at a point, it does switch up to there is like 2 points of view, right? Is like you could do this and then be like, okay, but we're going to improve the stuff moving forward. Or there's what I guess is canonically happening, which I figured is that we are not a good match for each other, but we still care for one another, because you can love friends. It's just not,
immediately after a breakup.
What do you mean?
So you break up with somebody and say, like, by the end of the text or call or meeting, I love you?
There are instances of relationships where, like, you'll have such like a deep care for this person despite things not working out. That can happen. And
later on, internally, yes. But like to verbally say after a breakup, I love that person, I've never seen a breakup on TV or media like that.
I mean, I could see it.
Like internally, sure. Like years later, like, yeah, I still love this person. We're still cool. I still love him.
Sure, yeah. But if you're also under the mindset that, hey, we're about to drown and die, that can also just like, because the whole conversation is just like, we're literally just being as honest as possible in our final moments. That is the whole crux of the entire conversation.
Exactly.
And you can absolutely say I love you to somebody in the end.
Exactly. Which again, like the danger, the stress, the trauma, them saying their most vulnerable thoughts, like I love you, made sense to me. Like I get it in that scene, but it didn't read as like, oh, but by the way, we're not together anymore. Like we're going to do our own individual thing now. Like I didn't get that from Jonathan. Like that was ridiculously bad writing.
With how I got it from just how much they were saying negative. They at least got like 5 off each of like negatives that they had about the whole situation, and then like breaking down that like, I didn't actually have to stay at work. I just needed that space, things like that. It's those instances that make it clear, okay, yeah, this isn't working well. Like she's constantly drinking and he's constantly smoking, and they actually, they don't like. It seems like it's alluding to the fact that they're mostly doing that because they're often in unhappy situations, even despite being with each other, and that's not great either. They do realize like they like each other more when they're not on those substances, but for the individual, they are on them because they don't like their situations.
True,
So
but there's been so many times where you can admit that stuff, and because you admitted it, like you move past it, right?
yeah, but also if you're constantly like trying to like push away this negativity, never talking about it out in the open, and you're just letting it fester more and more, then I think overall you're going to end up souring on the relationship itself, but you can still care about the individual.
Yeah, and again, I get that they care for each other. I just think the level of it, the intensity of it all, propelled by the scene that they're in, it didn't read to me as like it read to me was like we're about to die situation, not a we're breaking up situation.
I think the eminence of death brings out the full truth that they feel between one another, and that's what leads to that.
Yeah, I just didn't read that at all.
That said, I also like because I made my grievances with love triangles before. I like that Nancy also says like Steve's a cool guy, but he's also not who I'm looking for either. So that also puts away the possibility of that.
I hated that moment. Well. If I hated it, but at the same time, like
in Jonathan's character, he has been worrying about that for both these volumes, so I could see why he's vocalizing that.
It needed to be said, but I thought again. I mentioned it in volume 1. Like it seemed like it was just evident from season 1 that her and Steve were never going to be a thing. But I felt like they needed to say that for the audience and for Jonathan to just like double confirm it, like put it to bed that won't happen. But yeah, I just didn't like that execution at all. And again, the interview made me sour on it even more when everybody used the lame excuse of like, we think Nancy needs to be more strong and independent, and she'll be that way without Jonathan. I'm like,
I think she already is. Like a lot of
it's ridiculous. It's like it's male writers feeling like women can't be strong or like actively independent unless they're not with a partner. Where you can still be with a partner and still have that same trait. Like it's baffling to me. It's like we wanted Nancy to, because we feel like Nancy needs to. We want this volume or this season to be all about Nancy taking charge, being strong, being driven. And I'm like, she can be all those things and still have a boyfriend. Having a boyfriend isn't holding her back. You're writing it to make it seem like that.
Yeah, that's a weird like descriptor, especially like not to say like Nancy doesn't already or shouldn't have agency, but also I feel like the biggest example you've shown of Nancy's agency is that she's going to shoot this exotic matter anyhow, despite anything. And
exactly, that was dumb.
That was the wrong move. So that's that comment from the Duffers, not into that. But yeah, overall,
the quote because I don't want to paraphrase, but they said something along those lines. I wish I could find that quote.
I think like there's obviously an opportunity in the future that Nancy will find someone that she connects with romantically, but it's not going to be either of these two guys, and I think that's fine, and I think that's healthy.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, if really this comes down to is, it does make you wonder if they're going to do a thing where like, oh, Steve really wasn't trying to get with Nancy at all this whole time. That would be kind of funny, but also if it's what we do assume, like it's Steve also needs to have that moment of like, yeah, this isn't happening.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Hopefully, we don't get any Steve Nancy stuff in the finale. Like they're all friends.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was just a weird scene. I liked, and that was for me the best part of Volume 2. Just thought Volume 2 for me felt very stagnant, but I did like these characters finally admitting their truths. Like again, in the Nancy Jonathan case, I think that was executed well, minus like the intentions, for me at least. The Will thing finally being, vulnerable to that. Again, execution could have been better, in my opinion. But also, I think the Dustin and Steve thing finally getting to the vulnerabilities with them as well. Where it's like, I can't have you die. That was a great scene.
Love it.
Again,
especially
I feel like
I also love that, especially immediately following that revelation, the ladder that Steve was going to climb on immediately falls through down so many flights of stairs. And it's like, this was warranted. Like Steve focus up, and also Dustin be vulnerable, and that's wonderful for both.
That was a wonderful scene. I love that, him crying in Steve's arms. After a scene, which I also liked, between Steve and Dustin, when they're arguing a lot, and Steve goes off about Eddie, which I thought was very funny. Because Steve went a bit too far, as he usually does. Saying Eddie wasted his death. I don't think that part's true, but I think it is true that Dustin's overly attached to him. Eddie was the smartest person I knew. I'm like,
that's a fair point of view to have when someone died. That's fair though.
So I was on Steve most of the parts. Me, I do not like Dustin's arc this season. It just felt like a lot. It was overstretched. Dustin's arc could have been what it is in one episode, but they decided to make it 7 episodes. 6 episodes.
These things aren't fixed easily.
What?
These things aren't fixed easily.
You can write it to make it fixed easily. You can have a whole other arc for Dustin.
I argue that would be lazy writing.
It was, everybody else finished it up pretty well. Everybody else, moved on from Eddie.
Hey man, this ain't a coming out scene. All right, this is grief.
Grief. Again, grief can. These are 6-hour-long episodes. You're telling me Dustin's thing needed to last until episode 6 for it to be settled? Really?
I'm gonna send you the Time Blazer scripts, and you're gonna be like, "God, get over it." For every character.
But your episodes aren't an hour long. That's what I'm saying. These are an hour long.
If I had the manpower, yeah, they would be 40 minutes, but no, they're gonna be 20.
Exactly. So it just felt, again, that's my problem with this season in general. I feel like a lot of things are just stretched, and I don't know why. I feel like a lot of the problems Hopper and Elle had in the first volume was stretched for 3 episodes or 4 episodes, however many episodes there were.
I wonder. That's fair. I do wonder how many times we're gonna be Hopper is the overprotective parent of the most powerful character of the show.
The answer was the entire series, because we're at the finale now. He always acts like that. He's going to act like that in the finale. That's just who he is.
Have we not? Well, I guess no, because the whole situation with he's thinking back on his daughter that he lost, which I think they did in season 2. Is Breadcrumb season 1, Focus season 2, and then I forget what his situation was in 3. I guess he was doing the investigative stuff that led him to because they were blowing up the Russian underground thing in the mall.
He was there with Elle, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I think was season 3 more him and Joyce?
I think so. Which was developing their bond.
Yeah.
And then he was a prisoner all season 4 until the finale, where he reconnected with Elle. And now that he's back with her, I can see why he's I don't want to lose this again.
100%. I can see where they're going with a lot of the decisions this season. I can see where they're going. I'm just not agreeing with the execution. But
there's a fair criticism to say that maybe the show is trying to do full circles with a lot of the things from season 1, but if you've already progressed development past some situations in season 1, we don't need to retread. That's fair.
That's mostly what I'm feeling. I'm watching these episodes. I'm just and I think a lot of the criticism, they promised a lot leading up to this final season. It's going to be back to basics. The whole squad's going to be together again. And that's not the case. They're not together at all this season. Elle and Mike were a huge focus in season 1. Their relationship was born that season, and they're hardly together this season. You said Mike was going to be the leader of the gang again, like season 1 was, and Mike's hardly in this season that much. I mean, he's there, but he's not leading anything.
There was a time where I may have if you were to ask me who's the main kid of Stranger Things, I would have said Mike per season 1, and probably a bit of season. But then I'm watching this and I'm oh, Mike.
Right, and I shouldn't have that feeling. I have that feeling for Mike. I have that feeling for Lucas as well. Lucas isn't doing much besides caring for Max. I think him and Max have a great relationship. I like them together. Their scene when she wakes up is really, really good.
Wonderful. I think I think an argument could be made that there should be. I think Nancy and Mike probably should have been paired together for most of the journey to go find Holly as just a family. I think that would have. sense. It
Yeah.
switched up dynamics more to be like, because they're constantly like bickering brother and sister, even though they're all working together. I think that could have, and they've had breakthrough moments for sure, but like this could have like super bonded them to be like 100% like on the same wavelength.
Have we got any comments, by the way?
For specifically Stranger Things here, nothing. No.
But yeah,
I think especially as well, like the dualness of like Holly's missing and their mom's in the hospital. Their dad is comatose. We don't even come back to him because there he is, like a blank slate. I was also surprised. I was like, oh, he's alive. All right, you didn't have to do that, but all right, shout out.
Yeah. It's just it's hard. This volume. It's not my favorite. I would have loved. I don't know what I would have loved this season. I'm not the biggest Stranger Things fan, but it just not seeming as like tight and focused. This volume is specifically, it gave a lot of stagnant stuff. You had a lot of characters that were split up at the end of volume 1 that I thought were going to reunite, but then Dustin and his crew being at that building lasted all of episode 5 and 6, and then they finally got back together in 7. But in 7, episode 7, I didn't like it, not for the homophobe people, and not for the reason people aren't liking episode 7. I think some of the execution of the Will scene wasn't great, and just the pacing of episode 7 was just like, we're just biding time for the finale. And it's like, you can tell they wanted to get all the crazy stuff in the finale done, and they didn't know really what to do in episode 7. So they wanted to make a whole like 20-minute Will scene to stretch that out, set up the whole K and L, like, are we going to sacrifice ourselves? It was, if they do that, dumb in my opinion, but that's probably what's going to happen.
There's no way. I think
L, there's no way L will sacrifice herself. Let me rephrase.
No.
There's 0% chance L sacrifice herself, but she's going to fake it.
I think there's a greater chance you'll see the two of them fight over this, but no, I don't think you kill off L. Was because like the whole like run through of every season is like, is Elle safe? Is she secure? Is she away from her?
Right.
It will give her a life. She's gonna she's developed as a person outside of the lab. To be like at this point and be like, yeah, we're actually not going to give the character that we broke out from this life a happy ending. Seems terribly ill of a choice.
But it just seems like they're going to do the whole like.
I think
I'm going to try to sacrifice myself, but I'm going to like save you and then disappear kind of thing. I would hate that too.
Personally, I don't want anybody to die, and that's not just
nobody's going to die.
That's not just like personally speaking from like care for the characters. This is also like I genuinely don't. Murray could die. I'm fine. But everybody else,
none of the main characters can. The teacher can die. Whatever.
It's a bummer.
Murray can die. Whatever. But the family is going to stick together. Nobody's going to die from the main cast.
Yeah, I don't think Hop dies at all because of how often we lose him.
Nope. Yeah, at this point, like if he died, I'm like, oh wow, dang, okay, that's tragic. But like, we've had so many fake outs and not fake outs with him. Like you used up your Hopper lives. Like I don't care anymore. Joyce is completely safe. Mike, Will, Lucas, Dustin, completely safe.
If you were to pick one character you think has the highest chance,
it would be L, but I don't think it's going to be L.
I wouldn't have wanted this, but I think pre-watching this volume, I could see the merit of if you just had to pick one, Steve.
Steve is 1,000% safe. The fans,
especially after now with like reconciling with Dustin over not getting yourself killed. Yeah, no, he's not going to do it. Better chance that people are working in tandem flawlessly to save the day as opposed to anything fun. I will say at this point there's no shot that somebody theorized what if the ending of Stranger Things is this was a D&D campaign the entire time. First off, no, that's the animated show that's coming, and thirdly, with how descriptive Mike is of like, yeah, I know. Like, there's multiple times where it's like, oh, this isn't your D&D game. Like, you're not just gonna do that again and again. Like, oh, it was. No way.
Yeah, like there's just no way they're gonna fake us out with anything. The stakes are real. And the developers have already come out and said multiple times that like we're not Game of Thrones. Like
Until they are.
Characters aren't going to be dropping like flies in the finale. Like I think your character is going to be like we've seen it for the past 4 seasons now. Like nobody of importance has died in the show. So yeah. You know,
what do
you had important side characters die, but yeah.
Yeah. How are you feeling about Vecna's arc this season? Or his threat level?
I do agree with people like Vecna doesn't seem as dangerous anymore. Which is like it's unfortunate because like it's hard to explain.
I think he doesn't feel dangerous against the people he actively needs, or like in a safe spot. Like if it's those kind of situations, then yeah, Vecna's not gonna like unleash his full brutality. But then in other instances where like he needs to use will, or he can't go through the caves because of I assume we're gonna unlock that in the finale, which I'm looking forward to. That makes sense to me. But like if you're coming back to the dread of season 4 where he was targeting victims to brutally murder them to open the gateways, that was like such a high level threat of like, oh my god, this guy is horrifying. And then like there was also greater stakes where like the final target of the gate was going to be Max, so there was like a deeper like, oh my god, this is
personal.
There's a lot riding on this, especially with how many deaths we saw him perform. And then and we're not just like military personnel either. We're talking like students were falling active in an episode or two and then they get taken out.
Yeah, and I think I was like rewatching clips from earlier seasons. The earlier season just felt more darker, more serious. This one feels more like popcorn serious, where it's like, it's like it's built upon like events. Like in episodes, things are happening, but they're not that like dark or serious. Like season 1, like the things that Joyce was going through, like it felt more again authentic and like dark and like real. This one, even though the stakes are way higher than they were in season 1, it feels less personal. It feels less like darker and like in your face.
I never know when to believe a creator on certain levels of iconic development for iconic things, because yes, Kevin Feige is like, oh, we were pivoting from Kang really early on before all the major stuff, and I'm like, there's no shot. So I would be iffy on asking the Duffer specifically when they decided to pivot and implement the development toward Vecna in like the greater scope of the development of the Upside Down, because I think you start on season 1, it's just all a vague mystery monster Stephen King classic whatnot, where it's like this, you don't know what's up with this whole situation. It's just like crazy military science, and we're in a circumstance where an average person fell into that and how that's domino affecting the people in his life. I wonder like at what point are they like, okay, but this is like a greater thing with like this ruler Vecna and like this greater world and like this giant wormhole bridge of this season. Which I think personally is like really fun, like cosmic horror levels. It's like it's just like high eldritch level enough to not be like the turtle from It, but it's quite effective, I think, and especially the idea of like effectively we're watching the Doomsday plot of an incursion in a way. But I think it's quite interesting. But yeah, like just looking at like I think they've written it cleanly where the development of like here's like the small scale Demogorgon to here's Vecna's rule of like the other side and like targeting Will, I think has been written great. It's not like people like to weaponize the term retcon of like, oh well, they've completely changed the meaning of this and that's like lazy and shit. And it's like that you're just building on top of the pieces you've built yourself before.
The Duffers have said they have thought about all this since season 1, especially the reveal we got this season, this volume, that the Upside Down isn't attached to Hawkins. It's a bridge where I thought that was really cool. Where we see that the Upside Down isn't a like right under us kind of thing. It's like a bridge in another dimension, other like space-time thing that is connected to another world called the Abyss, which is where Vecna is at right now. So there's the Abyss, and then there's Upside Down, and then there's Hawkins. And their plan is to wait till they get closer together, go on top of a tower to get into the abyss that way, and defeat Vecna once the abyss is closer to Hawkins.
Now
that sounds
that is like, I think, the largest level of cutting it close I've ever heard.
Right?
For average humans and 2 psychic people. Well, 3. But even so, it's like, if you screw up any bit of this, I know they'll make it, but like, if you screw up any bit of this, reality is gone.
Yeah.
Which, that's great stakes, but like, Steve, I'll give credit to Steve for having an idea to contribute to this finale, but like, yeah, there was no other like way to get a aerial vehicle through the gateway. That's clear. There literally is no other option.
You have to wait for the gateway to come to you.
Yeah, but if there was like an opportunity to get aerial vehicles through, that definitely should be. And I think that they made that clear.
For sure. They're working with what they got.
Yeah.
So what else? But yeah, I did like that reveal, like, whereas like they're upside down, and like the wall isn't the wall, because I thought the wall was like the wall connected to the rock kind of wall in the abyss, but they're completely different areas. And the wall is like a space. Like, that's oh shit, that's really cool. So that was really, really a really cool reveal. And again, they said they had that since season 1. Do I believe that? Sure, why not? But yeah, I think the Vecna, he isn't as terrifying as it was in season 4 or season 3 or whatever. But I also want to mention how there is also a strong possibility that Vecna isn't the big bad. There's always the whole the one we get from, which I don't want it to be the case, because it feels less personal. Because Vecna seems like the most, like, even though he isn't as terrifying anymore, I still know him as a character. I understand his like complexity with Henry and all that kind of stuff. The real thing could be like the whole big Demogorgon smoke monster from season 2. That big thing. People are saying that could also be controlling Vecna still, because the Upside Down existed before Henry. The abyss existed before Henry.
Yeah.
So like the monsters there could be coming even if they defeat Vecna.
That's true, but I think just like to the level of power Vecna exudes and how much they've written that like he literally was like the first one that like spawned all of this and like everybody with these powers and whatnot. I feel like it's too much to just go in the back as like it was me all along. Not like there's going to be somebody with a personality, but like I don't know. Do you think it would be like an inverse Vecna on the other world? Do you think it would be like an Eldritch level, like greater?
Yeah, just like an Eldritch being, like, okay, Vecna's out of the picture. This Eldritch being is like they show that big wide shot of Vecna's palace or whatever, and it looks like an upside down version of like the big smoke monster that we've been seeing since season 2. A little bit.
It looked like a claw growing in circular tandem.
But either way, that I'm just saying that's a possibility that could happen in the finale.
Sure.
Like something bigger, like a bigger threat than Vecna. They already laid the case that like, hey, us killing Vecna isn't going to end everything because there's threats outside of the government. Also, I'm not a fan of the government stuff this season at all either. I had the same thing with Welcome to Derry. It's the same thing here. It's like, it's just hard to write these kinds of plot lines well. It just is the military stuff and all these supernatural shows. Like, I was fine for what it was in Welcome to Derry. It kind of hindered the finale there, and then now in season 4 or season 5, whatever, it's like none of it is compelling. You can get Linda Cardellini, whatever name, Linda Hamilton, all you want.
Hamilton, yeah. My God, I would love Linda Cardellini in this.
That'd be amazing. But yeah.
I mean, I wish Linda was doing a bit more than just being the one-dimensional general character. I feel like when you're writing situations like this, it really is just like either it's military searching for power, or it's just mad science, which can be fun, which then gets taken over by military desire to weaponize. And it feels like it's just those two, and it's like what more can you be offered, But they're interested. It's interesting they put in a little seed of why Henry is so scared of these caverns and like what is potentially found in this case. It's probably led to like what made him the way he is, what made him give him these psychic abilities. And I'm sure like that killing of that man unlocks something in him that lead down the psychosis. But that said, do you think the reveal of whatever like the backstory with all this is could lead to any appealing to Vecna to stop what's coming?
No.
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 Right on.
You got to take him out.
I personally think I was just asking for contrarian.
That's fair, yeah. Because we've gotten to know Vecna / Henry a lot here.
I love the actor. James Campbell Bowers is amazing in the role. And playing like so many iterations between Henry 1, Mr. What's It, and Vecna himself.
Yeah, he's doing a lot here. So yeah. I guess we'll see the finale at 8 tomorrow. You'll be at a packed house. There are a lot of sold out screenings. I'm very curious to see how those theater screenings are going to go because a lot of them are sold out. Fans didn't love this volume, but everybody's been saying if they can just end on a great note, then everything's fine, right? So,
yeah, I'm going to get my audience reaction, so you'll know.
Please. I'm very curious to see how that goes, because people online are comparing this to Game of Thrones. This is nowhere near Game of Thrones level, guys. Relax. So, but I'm glad you've been away from it all. You've been away from the mess. You've been away from the algorithm.
Mainly because my phone's been busted, so I haven't been accessing Twitter. I ordered a new phone. It's coming any day. But yeah, it's and usually whenever I log on to Twitter, my algorithm is just like, hey, here's a new piece of art by someone you're not following, and I always go through like I like the art, and then I follow the artist.
That's really cool. But yeah, one more news topic. Paramount announced last Friday that they are not going to release Legend of Aang in theater.
Oh, way to go!
Wow. I know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. But that was. I was in the middle of driving. I'm just like, I nearly pulled over. I'm depressed.
This is worse than Evan being homophobic.
Exactly, right? Do not clip that. But I'm just so upset because first of all, people are saying this means Paramount has no faith. Well, everybody's thinking this means Paramount has no faith in the movie. But do they have no faith in the movie because it's bad, or they have no faith in the movie because it's animation? They don't know what to do with it. I'm more so it's animation. They don't trust that the audiences are going to be there. Paramount recently has always been about like, hey, we're going to focus on things that are going to sell, right? Things that are always going to sell, which is scary. But like,
also weird.
I think this. What?
It's also weird coming off of like, yeah, we're going to cancel the live action Last Ronin Ninja Turtles, and we're going to pivot to the more animated friendly style for our live action with all the turtles. It's like, okay, so what do you look at? Do you want fun Sonicification for young audiences, or are you scared of animation? What are you doing?
I have no idea, but I think this could have done just as well as the latest animated TMNT movie. Now I'm scared for that one. That's going to go straight to Paramount Plus. I don't think so, but you never know.
Yeah. And this is like coming off of already existing animated property that is beloved.
Right? It's a beloved property, still is like 20 years later, nearly 20 years later, still a beloved property. But Paramount / Nickelodeon has always done Avatar dirty. They worked together well for Avatar seasons 1, 2, and 3, of course. But with Korra, after season 1 of Korra, they just didn't work that well. You had to watch it online. It wasn't airing on the Nickelodeon channel. So that was a lot of mess there. Some people are blaming Mike and Brian, the creators of Avatar, as well, because I don't know, writing and stuff behind the scenes. We don't know. We don't know what's really going on there. It's just so depressing. I knew that Avatar 7 Havens, the animated project, which is set to release in 2027, that was automatically going to be on Paramount Plus. All the future Avatar Studios animation series, I thought was going to be on Paramount Plus, obviously. But the movie I thought were always going to be theatrical, then go to Paramount Plus. But for it to be a full film released straight to Paramount Plus is, especially post-COVID, is just ridiculous. 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 I hate it so much. It was going to come out in October and do well. There wasn't a lot of competition there this year, at least. So it doesn't give me faith. I still have faith the movie's going to be good. From what I'm hearing from people that worked on the movie who are disappointed by this news on Twitter, they say, when I was working on it, the movie looked and felt great. So I still have faith that the movie, the animation, the look, the design, the story is going to be good. I still have faith in that. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon and being like, oh, the movie must be bad if they're dropping it out of theaters. There have been plenty of times where movies are great, but they have been dumped on streaming services. We know that from the past 5 years. So that's depressing. It does not give me faith in the future because back in like 2022, 2023, when Avatar Studios was first getting formed, there was rumors about this Aang movie, about a Korra movie, about a Zuko movie, and all those things, and a Kyoshi, Avatar Kyoshi movie. All those things were rumors, and then finally it landed on, hey, we're doing a movie on Avatar Aang. We don't know if there was ever going to be a Korra movie afterwards or whatever, but Mike and Brian have said they had movies planned after this Legend of Aang movie. Now I'm like, is that going to happen? What is the future with Avatar Studios? We already know Stephen Havens is getting a 2-season order. But for movies, I don't know it's not looking that great. I'm not confident that the next movie is going to be in theaters if this one isn't. So it just sucks. It's depressing. This is one of my favorite properties of all time. So it's a bummer. Also on interesting news, WB did confirm that Dune Part 3 is still going to release on December 18th, right alongside Avengers. They are not backing down as we head into the new year. They will back down because they're not stupid.
Yeah.
They will back down.
There's nothing against the idea of the quality of Dune 3. It's just it's the first Avengers film in 7 years when it comes out with so many returning favorites and with how they're marketing where it just takes like, oh, character I like is being badass for 5 seconds. Let me get that ticket. It's
certified hit. Like I made my box office predictions for the new year today, and I think everybody has their top 3. And it was funny. I was looking through the comments of like everybody's predictions. The top 3 is pretty set: Super Mario Brothers Galaxy, Avengers Doomsday, Spider-Man Brand New Day, in whatever order you want to do. Those 3 movies are probably going to be easily over 1.3 billion at least. Because I looked at Deadpool Wolverine. Deadpool Wolverine made 1.3. I think Spider-Man. The problem with Spider-Man, the reason I have it below like Avengers and Mario Galaxy is that it's coming out right alongside Toy Story, Moana, The Odyssey, like, and thank God it's coming out last. It's coming out July 31st, so it's gonna have like the August all to itself. But it's gonna be a very crowded summer, so that's why I have it like not as high as No Way Home. I hope people don't realize it's going to be like No Way Home. Like, I think this one's going to have the China release, but even with China, I don't think it's going to make like 1.9 or 2 billion.
I think the people who pick and choose the movies they go see are instantly going to be like, there's a high level of care for Spider-Man that is undeniable. So I think that's just like has its own boost built in.
Yeah. If Far From Home can make $1 billion, this one is making $1 billion easily. So my order was Avengers at 1.7, 1.9, then Super Mario Galaxy, then Spider-Man, then Michael, then Toy Story 5. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, just fun box office stuff. I'm doing a box office breakdown this Friday with Edgar. Anyways, you guys can find me on Twitter, Harris EV9, talking about Stranger Things tomorrow. See how that goes for the finale. I'll watch it in the comfort of my own home on Netflix.
Coward. You're what Ted wants.
He got me for one thing. You trained me to watch Stranger Things in at home, and now I'm watching it at home. That's just how it is.
This feels backwards and counterproductive.
I don't know. But so that's that. I do wonder if they're gonna make like box office numbers for that, or if they're going to keep it secret.
Mhm.
But anyways, I'm doing that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The Mighty Nine finished last week. Go watch The Mighty Nine on Amazon Prime. Very fun fantasy show. Pluribus also ended last week. Go watch that. Great show. My Twitter account, I dropped my top 12 favorite anime of 2025 with 4 more for honorable mentions. I'll be dropping my favorite TV shows in the next hour or so. So follow me for all that. Movies are tomorrow. My 109 movies of 2025.
Egad. Yeah, you follow me at _Time Blazer, making a show called Time Blazer with co-starring Craig Salt and Evan Harris.
Playing Ben, who I think, given the Scylla and Charybdis problem, I think he would have pulled like an Annabeth. I think my character is strategic like that, not like me. I would have sacrificed. I would have cracked a few eggs per se. I would have sacrificed some people. I would have sacrificed. Who are the other characters we have? Carson. I would sacrifice Carson's character. Sorry.
Oh no. I think Ben would have used the electricity within the air to his advantage.
Good point. I am on water. That could be pretty smart.
Yeah. Fried calamari, indeed. So, if you guys like this, make sure you like button, subscribe now, right? Ring the bell. So, coverage on all things movie and TV. And that being said, hope you have a great day. Catch you guys in the new year.